Hello, everyone. This is Creating Grin. Join us as we play Dungeons and Dragons, the 5th edition, around ye old table, throwing dice, telling stories, and creating legacies. Joining me around the old table is two members of the Crit crew. And to my left, we have.
I'm Brian. I'm playing Torgrim Wildbane, a mountain dwarf fighter brewmaster. Torgrim is, on a search to really expand his brewing capabilities and try to make the best brew possible.
I'm Ashley. I'm playing Bernica Raldnor. I am a forest gnome Circle of the Moon druid. Currently, she is just enjoying traveling all over the place. She has fun, finding the different plants and talking to the plants that then are harvested for various things. But mostly she just wants to see all the kinds of animals that she can since she can transform into them. So that's her just life goal, to just transform into all the animals.
And joining us around the ye old table via the scrying spell is our special guest, the fathers of the Dadvantage, plus son.
Right on.
Well,
plus a son.
Plus a
why
son.
don't you guys
That's
go
right.
ahead and give us a little bit of information, tell us about yourselves and about the characters you'll be playing.
Absolutely. I'll first. I'm Michael. And I am one of the dads on the Dadvantage. The Dadvantage is a D&D podcast where we give advice about how to play D&D, and sometimes we do a little live play. Our mantra is we're two old school dads talking about new school play. And then I'll give you my quick character, and then I'll pass to Andy, the other dad. So my character is Leonardo da Venvidivici. And Leonardo is a Leonin sorcerer, divine soul, warlock pact of the chain, with his faithful sprite companion, Venocchio. And he is in the service of Titiana, the queen of the Sealy court. And so he is a monster hunter, a dark fae hunter, and his motivation is just to service the queen. But he's he enjoys his independence a little bit too. So he's constantly trying to hide from the queen as well. And I'm going to pass over to Andy, the other dad.
Hi, everybody. I'm Andy Davis. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Dadvantage, and I will be playing Benjen Anna. He is a Githyanki. He is a Pact of the Tome Warlock and a Swords Bard, and he is he is on a quest to make the greatest restaurant in the world, in the universe, back in the Astral Sea once he returns. He is here to cook some food and insult people while he does it.
I am the aforementioned son, occasional co-host. Sometimes my ideas sprinkle their way into the Dadvantage, along with running one-shots and that sort of stuff when we do live play at times, or playing in them. I am playing Croc Johnson, P.I. He is a private investigator, but is a wizard fighter, kind of divination wizard, and eldritch knight. So some classic Spellblade stuff going on, but he's looking for another big case to really sink his teeth into. That's what Croc Johnson's up to.
And he's a lizard folk, right?
Yes, he is as the name sounds, he is a large alligator man.
My name
Named
is
Croc.
Eric. I'll be the Grin Master for this special chapter of our tale. So, this kind of origin-esque story starts us off on the continent of Stygian, as you all have traveled through various large metropolises and found your way to a small little village, around 200 plus people in the village, called Glimmerwick. You find yourself inside a tavern, like most every D&D adventure starts, as you're sitting around the table, probably around some sort of roughly drawn map that was constructed or sketched out by Ben. that basically has all these different points of interest on where to take the food kind of travel next. As Croc, secretly, you have been kind of sending correspondence back and forth and trying to gather or learn information about something referred to as the Black Death, which has your PI skills all at attention. You have kind of suggested subtly that you guys take this pathway to Glimmerwake because you've arranged a meeting with a couple of owners of a company or corporation called the GLAT Incorporated, and that is an acronym, so it's G.L.A.T Incorporated, and you've discovered that it stands for gas lit air travel. And you know probably within the next 20 to 30 minutes or so that you're expecting some guests, but nobody else knows this. So I'd like to pick up and let you guys have a little discussion of what might be taking place at the table.
Croc, I don't understand why you brought us to this tavern. The food here is shit. The service is shit. That man... It's just... Why are we here? They have stew. There's nothing but stew here.
Yeah, but the ale goes well with stew. Come on.
You guys, the rats are so friendly, aren't you, Henry?
Croc absolutely double takes at the rat of like, where'd that come from? Before getting back on point, he's like, well, in all honesty, I've been looking into a thing or two. And I have some contacts coming in. We're at the tavern to speak to them. Maybe looking into something, and if all goes well, we can all come out of this with something we want. Hopefully deal something. Have any
quick retcon. The tavern's name is the Thirsty Cougar, a franchise that has been expanded into the world of Solaris. You're welcome.
sir?
Whoever owns the franchise rights on that, that's.
The branding is on point, but the menu definitely needs improvement.
I am looking forward to meeting the Thirsty Cougar herself.
But that all aside, I have some contacts from the Glat, I suppose, Industries. It's a company in the area, and they know a thing or two about something called the Black Death. And now, Leonardo, I know you have your hunts and all, and there's a chance of relation from my research, and maybe we'll find something truly inspired for ingredients, perhaps.
I'm always looking forward to killing the dark.
Whether it be directly related or not, I'm not sure, but it's I'd like to look into this while we're out here, and hopefully we can find a little bit of everything we all want, you know?
I am not eating anything called the Black Death.
No need. I please don't eat something called the Black Death. That seems... There's like...
I don't know, it could be... It would be a very challenging meal for someone, but something could be done.
I'm not eating any more fugu, Ben.
So as this conversation kind of reaches its point, that is when two people enter into the Thirsty Cougar. And what you see is two cloaked, thin individuals. The hood of the cloak will be kind of pulled back, revealing two females, one of which is an Eladrin High Elf female. The other is an Air Genasi female. Both are very well put together. And they are both surveying kind of the tavern, looking for someone fitting the bill of Croc Johnson. And then clattering kind of in and staggering around and bumping into the Air Genasi female is this tiny little Modron who has a bunch of things that looks like he kind of fits the bill of like a personal assistant that would like carry like bags and books and different things like that. And she, being the Air Genasi, will look down to her left side and be like, kind of giving a look of like, really? And he's like, oh, my apologies. That is when the Eladrin female looks over towards the table of our adventurers and starts making her way over there. She is very kind of porcelain skinned, long kind of hair, like blonde that kind of fades into this almost like an ombre effect into a blue, and she lets it flow. She has these beautiful leather gloves in which she just kind of pulls off finger by finger, kind of gets them taken off, and she puts them into her side pouch as she looks and says, I hope that I have the right table. I presume one of you is known as Croc Johnson. We've been sharing some correspondence.
I'll nod.
Benjamin just points at the lizard guy and
goes, Croc Johnson would be myself. Please, let's take a seat. Let's talk about our correspondence and all that. These are my traveling companions.
So she looks around for a seat, but you guys have consumed all the seats at this current table, and that is when she looks to the little Modron, and he's like, oh, my apologies, and he right over and pulls a couple seats up for the two ladies. She says, thank you very much, Sprocket. As she sits down, she extends her hand very elegantly towards you, Croc, for a bit of a acknowledgement. My name is Quintessa Calliope Quillguard. And I...
Just for me as a player, is Calliope spelled with a Q?
Yes. It's all Q's.
this will be Calliope.
Q.
Mm-hmm. We have... she is the owner, or I am the owner, of Glatt Incorporated. This is my business partner, and she, being the Air Genasi, will introduce herself with her long, kind of white, flowing hair that just always looks like it's in a perpetual model shoot, just always blowing. And she says, I'm Chandralis Eris Windwalker, is what she says. And this is our assistant, Sprocket, which you see the little Modron as he's like climbing up into a little chair next to it. He's like trying to like set books and journals and things and set up to take notes, essentially, as like, you know, for meeting purposes or business reasons.
It's a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance face to face.
Yes, is what she says. The Quintessa is going to say, the reason that I have kind of reached out to you is because you took some interest into this plague upon our mining camp, the Black Death.
Kinda.
We, being the Glatt Incorporated, are mining swamp gas in Mudhollow Swamp, located not too far from here. We use the swamp gas for the purposes of our prototype airships, in which we are bringing from our continent to the rest of Solaris, is what she says. We have recently had a setback at the camp that has caused some trouble. The camp was assaulted by this Black Death. We have received some correspondence that there is some survivors of these attacks, and we wish for you to investigate, liberate, and retrieve, is what she says.
retrieve what?
We have some documents that we have sealed away in one of our offices that has a lot of the processes on our mining procedure and process of the swamp gas that we are collecting. We also have a few airship prototype schematics in which we would like retrieved from there. And we would like the camp to be cleaned out of whatever may have caused this, the Black Death, so that we can resume mining and functionality as soon as possible.
A question about the Black Death. Is it a single thing, an entity, or is it many entities?
We believe that it is a single creature that no one has seen ever that I'm aware of. Some of the reports that we did receive are coming back as things that you might read in child's tales or books of lore, is what she says.
Sorry, guys. 1 second. It looks like we may have lost Peter.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
no, here he's coming back.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's
I'm
okay.
back. I'm sorry. It bricked for me for a second.
He's back.
Like, my camera bricked and then everything bricked. I was like, oh.
All
Sorry.
This Black Death. The Black Death, is it edible?
I would not
I'm
advise eating the Black Death, she says very quizzically.
But it can be brewed.
I would not.
Are you
advise-
aware of the flavor profile? Savory, umami.
Pardon my friends. They are both a professional brewer, as I point to the dwarf, and a professional chef. They're very invested in their crafts.
It is quite all right.
Don't
I
sell
would
yourself
not-
short, Croc. You are a professional eater.
This is an accurate statement, but besides the
I
point.
definitely would not advise either eating or drinking the Black Death. We have just been told that it is a very large, looming, ominous creature of terror, is all we're getting.
Like a poor
I
little
mean, terror
animal.
as a theme for a meal is very, very interesting. I can work with this. I can work with this.
The poor little animal that you refer to, we're not sure. Again, not too many people have seen this, and those that did see it that were able to give us correspondence were unable to describe what they had seen.
Just gonna lean down to the little rat that's on her shoulder. Henry said his 18th past great grandfather spoke of a black plague.
This is not in relation to this
Henry,
black
it's not the
plague
same thing.
that
I'm
you
very sorry.
speak
Thank you for being so helpful.
Welcome to Creating Grin, where we drop historical. We are prepared to offer quite a handsome not ransom. A handsome reward. Thank you.
Ransom.
Yeah, for completing these tasks with this task, and that would be recovering the important paperwork of the swamp gas mining properties, the few sketches of the prototype airship that we are developing, and basically helping this mining camp be restored to its full functionality.
Well, milady, I would be greatly honored to help you.
Consider us fully interested. Out of curiosity, do many of the miners live in this town, or are they mostly live
Most
at
of the
camp?
miners have been brought in from our other sources and sites, is what you'll say.
And Is it spreading from person to person, or is it somebody comes in contact with this unknowledgeable, undescribable thing?
So Quintessa is going to look to her partner, and the Air Genasi is going to say, "From what I have gathered from all of our correspondence," and she looks over towards little Modron, and he like hands over a stack of like notes, and she begins to like thumb through them, essentially, just making sure she has her facts straight. The Black Death was released inside one of our mines. Apparently, one of our groups of miners had uncovered something that had been buried a long time ago, and that is when this thing had been released. We do believe and have some reports that there could be some survivors at the camp and maybe inside the mine as well. That if you could retrieve and find them and help liberate them or rescue them, that would be greatly appreciated and factored into your reward, as we do not like to have any of these reports or any of these accounts reported on our business reports, and it is very difficult to find good help, and we've invested a lot of resources in these fine folk that are helping us develop our airship franchise.
Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
My friend, so what do you
I
say?
think it would be. I'm certainly interested in helping this out. Aside from saving people, this truly
So
is
she
a
takes
mystery.
one of those pieces of paper, that being the Air Genasi female Chandralis, sorry, and she's going to put it in front of the table, and basically it lays out what they're willing to offer and the reward for completing this successfully, and that would be like rescuing anybody that needs rescuing, cleaning out and kind of setting the mining camp back to functionality, and then taking care of anything left over in the mine itself. There is a fully functional prototype airship that is being offered to the group. There is a allegation of 4 months worth of swamp gas fuel to power the ship that you will get on them, and each one of you would receive a hazard pay of 200 gold pieces along with that.
I think at the mention of getting an airship, Benjamin is a Githyanki. He's, formerly was in a spelljammer before he came to the material plane. I think he's very interested in the idea of having a ship again, and the idea of like some sort of traveling restaurant, traveling kind of thing is very intriguing to him. And I think, and also the gold, both of those things, he's, I think, more than happy to set aside any reservations about the quality of the food in the area in order to have something that would let him sort of get closer to his past experience of being a chef aboard a spelljammer. So
He's kind of like a little bit like a food truck.
yeah, it's true. Like a food truck. It's we're working towards a greater vision of the restaurant. But if a food truck is a thing that lets us, a food plane, food ship, a food ship, a food ship gets us closer to that vision, then I'm all for it.
I'm curious if I could.
He's also giving the Modron a side eye because he's just not down with anything that doesn't eat.
I'm just curious if I could make a brew that it would fly on instead of the gas.
You'll see
Do you
the
understand
Genasi
distilling?
look off to the side with the Modron and says, "Take that down," and he begins to scribble it down.
No.
Scribble it down there real quick.
This is Torgrim's idea.
You did have that one brew that tasted like swamp water.
Well,
I say that lovingly.
because it used swamp water for the base.
Most other creatures, even my little friends, did not like the taste.
I feel like that brew would have been
I
Croc
would think-
Johnson's like go-to. Like, this is delicious.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Mark Johnson's all
100%.
about the swamp one.
Croc is just looking at Brenica and just like, that was pretty good though.
Tell me more about this Swampagassa beer.
Henry, have you ever had mud?
All aside from the point, I think
But like mud with moss.
is it easy? Is it easy to say that we're agreed in taking up this contract?
Aye.
I'm always down. I'll like stand up on the table because I'm only like 4 feet tall.
And the little rat is like,
Henry, you can't come with us.
No
It's
feet
dangerous.
on
You
the
have your family
tables.
Here.
it's unhygienic.
It's not any worse than my gloves.
Okay.
Just
All this being said,
I think so. I like going. Sounds interesting. I like the reward.
this if this Black Death was buried here, what's the chance there's local legends and myths around?
There's some pretty significant chances, but they are not. I would say you could do a history check if you'd like.
How good is my history? Yeah, my history's okay. I got a +4. I'll throw out a history
Take
check.
us some guidance.
That is
Take us
a-
some guidance with your effort.
Ooh.
Okay. That is I rolled an 18 on the d20, +4 from the guidance roll, +4 from having an 18 intelligence. So that is a
Someone that
26
rolled
history
it. I
check.
don't know what
Crack?
this is like.
you're the smartest
What
lizard
just
man that's
happened?
ever lived.
Oh yeah!
So here's what you gather. You've been digging into this along the way, and you've been picking up little nuggets of information, visiting various bookeries inside the various cities and things that you've been traveling. You think you've pieced together that this could be a large winged creature that is slightly reptilian, that could be something referred to in the very old books as a dragon. Now, interesting fact, here in my world, dragons have essentially been kind of quarantined or banished or sealed and locked away a long time ago. So the fact that this is something that it could be is astronomical, because they have not been seen in
Yeah.
decades or longer.
Croc Johnson pulls out an incredibly thick manila folder and puts it down
Does
and
it
opens
have-
it up, and it is
Does it have a
full
top
of-
secret stamp on it? Has to have that.
Yes, it absolutely does. It has a stamp that says like important case files type of thing, and then like under that it has a second stamp that says like for Croc's eyes only.
Awesome.
He'll
Oh my
open it
God.
up and he'll start pulling out like report notes of like interviews he's done with people and like sketches.
Do you just like in the middle of this tavern,
Man.
like straight up make like one of the conspiracy boards, like tacked up with like the yarn and everything?
Absolutely. The table, like, incredibly quickly becomes a conspiracy board. And Croc will go, I've been looking into this for some time. All those merchants I've been speaking to, it's been about this. There's a chance, however small, but there is a chance that we might be dealing with something that hasn't been seen in centuries or more. There's a chance, and I know this sounds far-fetched, even for me. There's a chance that this is a dragon.
Hey, dragon man.
That's funny.
Croc will kind of reach into his shirt and pull out his necklace, which is his magic item, the scaled ornament, and it is a long hooked black claw that has like probably black scales on it, and goes, "This has been passed through my family for generations, but this is a shard of a dragon claw holds some great power. I think the odds that this is actually a dragon are surprisingly high based off the descriptions I've been getting. Something ominous has been sealed away down there, and we haven't seen dragons for a great amount of
Quintessa,
time.
the high elven female is going to be like, interesting. Hadn't thought about this. But she's definitely on board with what you're speaking there.
But from the old histories I've been able to dig up, it's... the territory we're in has... and the description of a Black Death implies to me that this is, one of a darker coloration. I don't quite know what that means, but I do know the colors are important for some reason. I don't... and darker could possibly mean a cruel fae or something else.
Maybe a more robust flavor.
Perhaps.
Indeed.
But we won't know until we
This
get
is
to it.
quite alarming.
What,
As alarming as
this is a question for you, Eric. I'm a Gith. I spend a lot of time in the Astral Sea. Would I have ever encountered a dragon? Is that something...
You would know of them, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so Benjamin would back up once he sees kind of Croc's conspiracy board.
And I feel like there's
confirm some of the details.
I feel like there's a drawing of this dragon that is just like this kindergarten kind of crown-esque sketching of what like this big derby-eyed kind of long, every proportions are all out of whack. And yeah, like it looks like it could have been a dragon. And he like passes it around, like holds it up.
It's like my brain goes to like paleontologists when they're like, this could be what it was, and it's like nowhere near accurate to the actual dinosaur, like something like that, where it's like all the proportions aren't quite right. Like it's like just skin, it's like almost just skin and bones of what a dragon could be.
I am quite sure, Crocker, that the head is much bigger.
Well, funny enough,
Maybe. I'll admit,
it looks like a bobblehead.
Artist.
The head is like way too big for the body.
The head is a much too big.
Does it have tiny front arms?
Yeah.
Tiny front arms and very tiny wings.
Yeah.
Vestigial wings.
Yeah.
How does this apply?
Now, I'll fully admit I could be wrong about this, but this is the best I could put together with the information I had on what a dragon could look like.
So you with a bigger head and little wings. Huh.
Yes, and like 8 times my size or something, but that's besides the point. Dragons, as far as legends are concerned, are massive. They possibly to the point of being overblown, but based on what we've been hearing description-wise, it definitely could be the case. Either way, this is something that merits an investigation.
This sounds fun.
Okay.
Benjamin has his tome open and he's fully making like tasting notes, like trying to sort of just speculate on, what cuts might be best, or like the liver, just like it's all based on like kind of what he understands about, reptilian stuff in general. Like looking at Croc, kind of making the little like the tongue maybe,
good, but maybe not the kidney.
Yeah.
Okay, so without further ado, we'll kind of like they will take their leave, being the 2 ladies. They will roll up the piece of parchment, handing it to Croc Johnson. That is initially like upon completion, there's your reward slip.
Yeah.
They will plunk down the gold pieces in advance. So each one you'll have 200 gold pieces to count as your hazard pay. And they will give you directions that you're going to be traveling. And I will switch over to our map of our continent there.
Switch over as well.
You don't have to. This is more for players' eyes only.
if they pay us ahead of time before we leave the town, I think Benjamin would maybe do a little bit of shopping, but also kind of like we've got all this information from them, but I think he just wants to talk to a couple of their townsfolk and like shopkeepers and stuff, and do a like kind of collect like he's basically collecting groceries, but he also wants to talk and like kind of just confirm some of the information from other people about that they have also heard some stuff. I don't know
Sure.
what sort of role you would
Yeah,
want for something like that. If
Go to
that's-
give me an
think-
investigation.
yeah, I think-
So you're kind of like trying to gather anything like that. While
yeah, I'm
kind
just
of
basically
shopping?
like
Sure.
trying to say like when
Yeah.
I talk to people, I'm like it's more along the lines of have you heard of this?
Sure.
What
I
rumors have
think,
you heard? That sort of thing.
I think Leonardo would go along with and give him guidance.
Okay.
As well.
Okay, that's what a D4.
And then I think
it's still trash.
Leonardo would be looking to buy a healing potion if there's such a thing available. In the
Oh,
town.
absolutely. They would have no more than just the healing potion here. There's a small little alchemy shop there and potion shop that you can buy little tinctures and potions.
With
So how much
guidance,
would it?
it's a 6.
You're going to encounter the most intriguing elderly half-orc you've ever met. And he's like, yes, back in my day, there was something known as the Black Plague. It killed me. It goes on, and you're like, maybe there was something to this Black Plague.
Okay. Note to self: Black Plague, Black Death are equivalent.
And he also looks...
Somehow rats are involved.
I was going to say, he looks and he says, if you have a chance to talk to a rat, they know all, is what he'll say.
I'm gonna put Henry down. And I'm like, yes, Henry, yes, no, they want to hear your story. And I'll literally spend 10 minutes and this rat is like, I'm like,
Just translating the rat.
oh my goodness.
That's the best part.
No,
She's not
I
translating.
don't translate the rat.
Just
I
translate.
just react to the rat.
to-
And the rat is like gonna mime and like fall over dead
Yeah.
and like, do weird stuff. And you guys have no idea what's going on.
Perfect.
Vinocchio, my sprite, is participating with whatever the rat is doing.
They probably have lots
Just-
of fun together, the random creatures that I.
So if you guys take a look at the map of Stygian, you guys are currently in the little village of Glimmerwick, top here. And your directions you're given are essentially to travel south towards the Glatt mining camp. Does anybody else want to do any downtime shopping or anything before we proceed on?
Yeah.
So we were able to buy one healing potion. Is that correct?
No. I'm sorry. The only thing they would have are healing potions.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're
Got it.
priced at like
And-
they're priced at like 60 gold pieces above because they are like trying to make some hustle here.
So how much would they? So it'd be 210 gold pieces for a single healing potion. Is it? And I have 200 gold pieces.
No. It's 60 for a healing potion instead of the standard.
Okay,
so they're
got
just
it.
charging 10 gold more than standard.
Okay.
So I would be able. Do they have enough that I could buy 3?
Sure. He has a supply.
Yeah,
I will
I'd
be
also want to pick up some healing potions.
Okay.
I'm going to pick up 3 if that's possible as well.
Yeah, that's fine. They will definitely have enough for that. Would you, Michael, roll me a d6, please?
I've rolled a 3.
Okay. When you collect your 3 potions, one of them looks a little off. The color looks a little lighter than the rest.
Brewmaster, what is wrong with this potion?
I will take a look at it, and also, I brew alcohol, not potions. But it's definitely not gonna pop the cork and smell it.
You've had your fair share of potions. It's like opening up a not as carbonated soda. It's very weak.
Yeah, I think they've watered it down.
that particular potion, one of your 3 will do only 2, or what is it? The standard is like what 2d.
2d4.
Yeah, so this one will only do
2d4
1d4 plus 2. It's like half strength.
That is disappointing.
And you said you acquired.
I'm going to
how
assume
many-
we figure this out once we're out of town, because otherwise Benjamin
Right,
would
go ahead
just
and
be
roll
like, "This
me-
is unacceptable."
Roll me a d6, Brian.
1.
You find one that's been watered down as well.
That bastard! If we make it back, I'm gonna have some words with him.
So it'll do 1d4 plus 2. Is anybody else doing the shopping?
Benjamin has healing word, so I don't think he's going to spend money on that. I think he spends probably about 10 gold on fresh ingredients, like probably way more than he needs to on fresh ingredients and herbs and like a whole bunch of cooking supplies.
Gotcha.
Bernica has left Henry at the, ale house or wherever we were. While we were fluttering around, I found like some little bird, like a blue jay, and I'm sitting there like frowning, like talking to the blue jay, like, you just have no faith in my healing abilities. You just cast something a little wrong, go off, and miss it once.
Is what the bird is like chirping back. Like there's a full-on conversation. Some people look very strange at this conversation, while others acknowledge it as passersby.
And then the little birdie will take me over to like a little seed shop, and I'll get him like a little bag of like. So we're just like eating and sharing like little roasted peanuts or seeds or something.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Croc is gonna get caltrops.
Oh yes.
Oh,
I'm gonna, if I can, I'd like to pick up like a lot.
Sure. These caltrops are not like your standard metal caltrop. These are actually like, I don't know exactly what they're called, but they're like little brown like stickers. They might be briars, I'm not sure, but they look about the size of a super ball, and they're like super thorny and spiky. They do the same equivalent of a caltrop. Aesthetically, they just look like they look natural, so they might hide a little better. And they essentially would collect them like in the outer swamp regions, kind of before you cross into the swamp, and that's kind of like their version of caltrops.
They are quite bad. I get them caught in my mane all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, Croc is pretty much gonna buy out their entire stock.
You're gonna spend 200 gold worth
Jesus.
of caltrops?
Well, I don't know if they have 200
Sure.
gold
Just
worth
like
of
lugs
caltrops.
a bag.
Sure, like
Oh my gosh, you got like the huge.
He'll buy like 10
Sure,
gold
okay.
worth of caltrops, which is still like caltrops are like
Right,
5 silver
yeah.
pieces or something. Or
So they give you like it's like a
so,
burlap sack full of them, and just plunk them down, buy them in bulk.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Bernice will walk up. Be careful with that. My uncle Seamus like lost an eye playing with those when I was younger.
Seamus. I know a Seamus.
Was it a gnome?
Seamus.
Because he said he did hard time with that.
No, it was a knoll. Druid, though.
Well,
Druid.
could have been. Uncle Seamus is not the most law-abiding.
Last name McRobin?
Robin. Yeah.
I mean, he used a lot of different last names. Because apparently, like, you don't want to use your real name if you're not, like, following the law.
Yeah, I see that a lot. No, this is for, kind of looks at this. Hopefully we can keep things out of the area if this does end up being a big fight.
Okay, well, just don't dive head
Or
first
at least
into the
dissuade
pile,
them
like
from
I
going
said.
certain ways.
Lose an eye.
If anything, I'll be stuffing something head first.
It's very effective.
Okay. If everybody's comfortable, we'll montage on with you traveling to this location.
Yeah.
Nice.
How long will it take us to get there? Is it...
It is probably
Couple of
going to
days?
take you 3 to 4 days of travel.
Okay.
Do you guys want to like describe what you're doing along those 3 to 4 days?
Bernica, will be skipping down the paths. Constantly has some type of little insect or creature that you just hear like one-sided stories from. She's just like she had like bags of candy she just keeps pulling out over the 4 days that she purchased at the town, and that with her boundless bottle of coffee, she's sugar and caffeinated like.
So you're like my daughter, essentially.
Absolutely wired.
Literally
all the
bouncing
time.
along the trail.
Oh, I got an 11-year-old like that,
Yep.
just wired constantly
Nice.
on sugar.
Nice.
I think Leonardo is constantly telling Vinocio to leave the gnome alone. Vinocio is very interested in the spastic gnome.
Oh, and Branica loves Faye, so like, it's absolutely, she's probably thrilled out of her mind. Like, no, let me play with Pinocchio.
Nice.
I swear I won't lose to poker again.
Croc, who is surprisingly knowledgeable about nature and plants, is gonna check out kind of the plants as we had to see if there's anything off about them, to see if there's like any possibly broader regional effects than
that's a very
just
good
what we're seeing.
very good. You don't really notice anything different other than the closer you get, the terrain begins to change into more of swamp-esque, because you know you're getting closer to this Mudhollow swamp. But everything looks pretty straight.
Okay.
I will try to talk to some of the plants that he checks out. I don't quite know what I'll ask them.
Do you
guess.
have speak with plants?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, what do you ask a plant?
I need to know what were you looking for with the plants? Like, did you find them suspicious? Like how was your interaction?
Like, I think it's like a lot of like kind of early in the journey, like checking like the stems and like the leaves to see if they're like kind of in the more normal areas, and then as it gets swampier, checking those same types of plants to see if anything is like particularly different or off of the plants that he checks. Just so like kind of data point comparison. If you ever ask Croc anything, he's like comparing data points essentially.
Definitely a few times that I'm gonna be like, he called you interesting, not odd. It's okay. And then I will also ask if there have been if they have noticed anything. Like any big creatures moving through the area. If the dragon is so big. That's literally what she's like a big lizard.
Going to say that a cluster of like floral plants that you find. Some sort of exotic.
Ooh, swamp lilies.
Sure, we can go with that a little bit. And they literally are going to like look at you, and you're going to see the blooms kind of open up. You, and only you, see this kind of like wrinkled face that kind of like appears, and they all look to you and they talk in like chorus, which is a little like unique, and they're going to tell you essentially that there is something affecting the water.
Ooh, the water.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Do you know where?
It's in the swamp somewhere.
Okay. Is it all the swamp water, or is it like towards one area or another?
They don't know because they're plants. They are just drinking this water, and it.
Are they near the morning sun or near to the evening sun?
The morning sun.
Okay. Now, for other people that are directionally challenged, the morning sun would be
Technically
west,
east. Well, it depends on this plate. On this planet.
Yeah, because I can't ever get my cardinal directions right when
Yeah.
we play.
I also struggle.
The sun is to the north.
Yeah, just really mess with everyone.
North
Say
to
the sun
south.
goes
Yeah.
north to south.
Oh my God! Wow.
South to north.
So I will
Well,
relay that information. We'll be like, so there's something in the water or with the water towards the morning sun. Couldn't get any more specific. I mean, they are just little plants. But look at them, they're so cute.
I think Benjamin.
You killed Bertha.
was going to say, Benjamin every day is basically foraging. So he spends basically most of like the morning. He'll make like a simple meal for everybody, but then he spends the whole day kind of like foraging for plants, and he'll like, use Eldritch Blast to like shoot birds out of the sky or whatever it is. But he's basically like every day at dinner, like he has I think he has like a big flat sheet of metal that he basically he uses heat metal to turn into a griddle. And then he's like crazy making like just like very, very elaborate camp meals. Like you guys have all seen those like stupid TikTok videos where the guys are like grilling everything on like all out in the woods. Like he's basically doing that like every day as a meal for everybody. That's kind of like his gift to the party. I mean, for all that he's surly and kind of he really does care about food, and he cares that everybody is being fed. I do think that after you talk to the swamp lilies, he sees that, he like comes by, like you may have like turned away, and he just like chops them all off, and they become like a garnish in the meal that we eat that particular night.
You beat me to it.
Mushrooms all over again.
It's like he's got, and he's but it's always it's very he's very kind of always like they vary, right, depending on what he finds, but it's always generally kind of like probably more elaborate than you would expect for.
I feel like there's this
Every time
meeting at the Lilies between Torgum and Ben, and they literally are fighting between the lilies, like brew food. And Ben eventually will win out, like, no, garnish.
It might taste good in a brew.
The squirrels said they're actually really bitter.
It's perfect. Who doesn't like a bitter brew?
He'll like chop off all the lilies and then like hand a smaller amount to Torgrim.
Benjamin, how did you feel when we first started traveling and all I ate were good berries all day? Just
I think horrified. Yeah, just horrified. Just like I mean, like of course foraging for berries, but like what is a good berry? I think good berries taste like they're like food pills. I think they just they always taste the same. So like the idea that you would just always eat the same thing every meal is
like just a vitamin gummy every meal.
Not
every meal, just like once a day. Just once a day. I just pop them out. Maybe a couple more. I feed them to like the little animals out of a little sack.
Yeah. Go ahead, Michael.
That's awesome. So I was gonna say, I think that Leonardo thinks he's being sly, but after every time Benjamin hands him a bowl of food, he like casts prestidigitation to make it taste more salty. And every now and then Benjamin catches him,
just slaps his hand.
Croc is the best person to serve food because he eats literally anything you stick in front of him.
Croc gets like triple portioned, and half of it, and it's just like, and then all the leftovers just get like dumped in front of him.
Yeah.
So this takes course over the next couple days. Is kind of the downtime activities. You guys will eventually make your way into the swamp. And it starts off like not as damp and dreary. It's there's a lot of thick foliage, and there's some soggy ground, but the further you travel in, you're starting to get into more of this like larger puddles or water sources, and everything is a little soggy and damp. Trees obviously have moss and different variations of swamp life kind of hanging or living within the trees. And what would be the marching order for this party?
I would also like to say that my staff, it's at will to cast Pulse without trace. So.
Oh, amazing! That's good.
Oh, nice.
Hells yeah.
I think Croc will take the lead if no one else is.
Well,
stepping up front. If
I have decent stealth and decent survival, so I mean I can also, and my AC is not horrible. It's like I can.
If you want to scout ahead, and then Croc will lead the rest of the party.
I think one way we could do this is that Vinocchio can go first, right? Invisibly. So we'll send. I think we send the invisible sprite ahead, a little bit ahead of everybody.
How far?
And then, not significantly. Like 30 feet, right? 30 feet ahead of Croc, just to keep, just so that we have something ahead of Croc.
And I'm okay. I'm just thinking more about my character, which I have not actually used in combat before. So I think actually I probably would be more towards probably more effective to be a little further to the back.
Okay, so we got Denochi going ahead of Croc about 30 feet invisibly. We have Croc kind of leading the main party, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then following behind Croc.
Yep. Lantern out in one hand.
Okay.
Sword in the other type of vibe.
And I'll go second.
Okay, so Torgrim will be second. Who wants to follow Torgrim?
I have no problem with Leonardo going in the middle of the pack.
Okay. And who wants to bring up the rear?
I'm probably in the rear because I'm constantly just like talking to little things, and then I look up like,
Okay.
So I'll be behind
or
Benjamin.
find a shiny
and then,
rock on the trail, and it's like, you're going in my pouch.
Bree, behind Bree. Benjamin is behind Bree or in front of Bree?
Either or, depending. You probably have to be like, go.
Yeah.
Right?
We're just
It's like
we're
go,
like
but
changing
every time you
position
turn
all
around,
the
whatever
time
point
because
you were
I'm like
just
trying to
talking
keep
to
up,
is-
but then constantly having to like go back and like
I like it.
hustle up.
You're like the dad just grabbing the head and directing it. Here,
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But it's also every time you look at the plant you were just talking to, it's just suddenly
It's just getting like stuffed into my jacket.
I'm also digging the fact that like this is like, you know, like two shorties and a bunch of ridiculously tall characters all over 6'3".
Yeah.
Alternating.
We could be like, whoop, with just a little W.
Yeah.
So I would say like late afternoon, encroaching into the evening portion is when you guys are going to get not necessarily to the camp. You don't think, Croc, you're going to spot what looks like a kind of a tent camp setup, like a refugee kind of area. There's going to be, I don't know, 20 to 30 various heritages running around. Dwarves, which your lantern will glow if you've chosen dwarves. It's on Fae.
I was going to say, he chose dwarves constantly.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there will be, there'll be some glow. You're going to see some dwarves, some bullywogs, there's going to be some humans, some gnomes, and there's one particular creature that stands out, and that is a turtle, who seems to be like the director or the camp boss or the head of what you have here. So I ask, how do you want to approach and handle this?
Remind me what a bullet
Frog guy.
was
Frog
again?
person.
Yep.
Frog guy. Okay. Croc, kind of lantern coming out of what I assume is like
Sure,
fog and mist. We'll just kind of start heading towards this camp. He'll kind of turn and look back at everyone and go, "There's a camp up ahead.
Let's go."
Let's take a
So
look."
as you get a little bit closer, that is when you're going to notice 3 of the bullywogs, or the frog people. They have spears, and they're going to rush up, and they look like they're dressed as guards. So they will be there to kind of like confront you.
Brinka's gonna like pop her head off and be like,
Calm down.
how are you guys?
From the
What
back.
business do you have here? Is what you'll hear from one of them.
Well, see, we were just talking to some clans back there, and they said the water's bad, so we've come to check it out.
I think Leonardo starts to step forward and may try to sort of calm the situation down a little bit. We are adventurers looking for a mining camp for Glad.
The 3 of the guards will look at one another, and the one who seems to be the lead guard says, "Follow me," and he's going to start heading towards the tent camp.
Benjamin from the back will message both Leonardo and Croc and just say, "We have paperwork from Quintessa. and then just
Yeah. Croc will just kind of like turn his head and nod, and then start heading into this camp. It's like once we're in the light of the camp, he'll holster his lantern and.
So you're getting the visualization as these are definitely like quick thrown up tents that the survivors are kind of stationed at. You are led to the turtle, will be a male turtle, who constantly kind of has this little sniffle, if you will. And the bullywug guard that has led you so far will introduce you to the camp boss. He says, "This is Camp Boss Sheldon Halfshell."
Great.
So good.
Yeah, he's gonna like step off to the side. The turtle turns around and says,
Oh, thank you so much for coming. I assume you've been sent by...
and he sneezes directly on you. And then he pulls out a little handkerchief and
Forgive me, my allergies are tremendously bad in the swamp.
Leonardo will instantly just press the digitation away the mess.
And
Croc, it looks like he wipes it off, but he does the same thing of just casting prestidigitation, and it's like.
And Benjamin at the same time is
going
gonna.
to be sneak shields in front of us.
I'm just gonna elbow Bree and whisper to her, "The plague."
It's spreading already.
It's spreading already.
the turtle says,
My name is Sheldon Halfshell, as my friend here has described. What is yours?
My name's Croc. Croc Johnson, Private Eye.
He has been waiting to say this for quite some time. Leonardo introduces himself and will let it be known that we have been hired by
Quintessa.
By
Quilliope,
Quintessa. Yeah.
and he sneezes again right towards Croc. Without a tissue, he pulls another tissue out and wipes his nose. Just for those of you watching, my inspiration was the gigantic tortoise in Neverending Story for this. I'm just saying.
Oh my god, so perfect.
Just saying.
I would like to know, I have an herbalism kit and have dabbled in various, druidy things like that.
Sure.
I really want to, pull a frog out that I've been talking to and be like, if you lick this frog, your allergies will go away.
He'll say,
I've already tried that.
as one of the bullywogs is like, yeah.
I think you licked the wrong kind of frog.
So she has sent you to take care of our situation. We have been attacked by these skilled goblin creatures that have assaulted our camp, is what he'll say. We believe there's some survivors that are being held hostage or prisoners. We hope that you'll be able to help, is what he'll say.
So you have some people being held prisoners in the mine, I assume?
But potentially, when these small, scaly, goblin-esque creatures attacked, we all fled for our lives, is what he says.
And when you say small, are you like my height or like
Yes,
small?
about the size of you.
Okay, 4.5 feet. Okay. Oh boy.
Okay. And you said scaly. So, do they seem perhaps lizard folk like myself?
There's
or
some
is there...
similarities, but they're a little more lithe or agile. No offense. Their structures are a little leaner. They,
And
ahead.
the Black Death itself, has anyone here seen it or seen it in shadows or anything like that?
You're going to see one dwarven female approach. She has really kind of fiery red hair. And she's, I have seen it. I was in the mines when we punctured through and revealed the cavern. My name,
Kind of like half motion to continue.
my name
talking,
is
kind of thing, like,
Merida
keep going.
Ironbrook, is what she'll say. I am the lead miner of the expedition that was traveling in the caverns. I do believe a few of my fellow miners, a brother and sister pair, named Crag and Karen Boulderdash, may still be down there, as they were leading the efforts to aid people to get out as soon as possible. It was massive, it was black as night, and it loomed very angrily, as if some sort of creature being awoken from a very deep slumber, is what she says.
And you didn't see any of these smaller ones until after it woke up.
I encountered a few of them. They are, as he said, goblin-esque in stature and size, red and brown scaled, very scary. Teeth kind of protruding from their snout, is what I'll say. Their screams were haunting.
Is there anything about that description of, like, so we've already established nobody really has seen a dragon forever. Is there anything about, like, could any of us who've been around, can we make like a history check or something to see if we know, like, I guess
You could definitely make a, we'll call it a nature check.
nature? Okay. I don't know. That was a nat 1.
I would like to make the nature check, but if someone else already did it,
Sorry. Changing out.
Nature's one of the things I'm good at.
Sorry.
No.
I'm not bad at anything, so it's
all good.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
what'd you have for your
yeah,
nature check?
hard
I'm
things.
sorry, Annie.
Well, I rolled a nat 1, and I have a +1 on nature, so yeah.
Well,
I
here's
rolled
what I will
trash.
do. You can make a history check, but because of the nat 1, it could be a disadvantage to see if you may have recalled something from your lore.
Okay.
I made a nature check as well. I rolled a 14 with a +1, so 15 total.
Okay. Let's see what the history revealed first.
I rolled basically an 11.
There are various child's
Yeah.
tales of creatures that match this.
Okay.
The nature check, you may have heard something, but again, it's very much in the lore-ish.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, Croc. I know you. Go ahead, roll it.
Well, that's yeah. Well, I'm just sitting here. I was like, oh, well, okay. I rolled a 19. Croc has a +7.
This is gonna tie into all your investigating the Black Death. You do know there are these tiny creatures that are scaled or reptilian-like that tend to follow and or worship or subservient, depending on what you read or which book would be kind of their role of these large dragons.
I've read about something like this. Pseudo dragons or something tend to follow around the possible larger ones. It's like I kind of say this half to the party before I realize there's other people around. Like it's like absolute.
They
media
literally
energy of
all-
like, yes, my
Yeah, they're
special
literally all
interest.
looking around confused because none of them probably would know the word dragon or anything like that, so they're looking confused.
And
I've
just to honor the nat 1, I think Benchen goes, they must be the plague carriers. That's how the plague
They
spread.
say it was spread from individual to individual,
That's
and
right.
their skin like got really weird.
They've been infected.
Croc turns his head, is like, is there something I should be worried about?
Okay.
I'm gonna put that little frog.
I'm just not gonna engage with that for a second. We have a possible idea of what it could be lurking down there. I've been investigating this sort of thing for quite some time.
So we'll take a brief
But
second. Like
if you
above
could-
table, do you guys have an idea what it would be?
Kobolds.
Kobolds.
Okay.
Kobolds. Yeah.
Kobolds.
Check it.
Kobolds.
It's
It's
checking.
kobolds.
Yeah, no,
It's-
I'm trying to keep it not metagame too much.
Yeah. No, I got it.
Yeah, I'm like, I just thought to throw out pseudo dragon because it's another
I'm just
creature.
making sure we're all on the same
It's a
page.
small dragon-like creature.
So, if you wish to get into the mining camp, we could provide you with some canoes. That's what he'll say.
I love a canoe ride.
What sort of?
All the canoes that fit to print.
Yeah. So at this point,
Canoes would be helpful for all the people.
at this point, the lead bullywog who led you in, you're getting the impression he's kind of like the head guard here. He says, "I'll take over," and he will begin to inform you. Essentially, the camp itself is built on various platforms and walkways or gangplanks. You will need to take boat or canoe to travel in beyond this point. And you kind of look off in the distance and you can see it gets soggier, more damp and bog-like to the mist.
If it's this wet, how deep is this mine?
That's what I was wondering too.
Like, this mine is just going to be... Okay. I'm not going to linger on that too much.
It's the most unstable mine ever.
Yeah.
So at this point, you're more than welcome to ask any more questions you guys have, and they will kind of point you and show you. They're going to provide two kind of canvas wrapped and like a Native American kind of canoe.
Yeah.
In its design, that should be able to fit 3 people per canoe.
I can go with whoever's feeling the least confident in canoeing.
I've never been on a canoe.
Go ahead.
Have you ever swam before?
Sure you have. I have absolutely dragged you into the water a few times.
So Croc has a swim speed, is that right? Yeah.
I have a swim speed. I have a swim speed.
Benjen also has a swim speed and can breathe underwater.
Awesome.
So I'll take one canoe, and then I guess Croc could take the other.
And then Croc can take the other,
And
whoever's feeling the least confident.
Is there any questions or anything before you venture off into the mist?
Like, how deep into this mine were you that this occurred?
So you're asking Merida, the dwarven female?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to say that we were fairly deep into the female, or the female. Good lord, fairly deep into the.
Whoa.
Good lord. We'll have to edit that one out.
Apparently, these mountain dwarves have a whole different thing going on. A little flirty.
Oh,
How you doing?
yeah.
Well, okay, and stability of that mine, like
It's fairly stable. They've secured it. It is very damp down there, so there's a lot of there'd be a lot of water travel as far as there's not enough room for necessarily a canoe travel per se. You could, because they do kind of ship it out on boats, but they kind of collect the gas, the swamp gas, because they're diving down in there to get the richer methane deposits or whatever that composes it.
Right.
and they're kind of like grabbing it in like these giant magical sacks, essentially, kind of siphoning it, sealing it, and then they will throw a net because they float. It's almost like a helium kind of vibe, and they'll throw like a net over like a boat or a small kind of floating train that they'll get out of there.
So it's
How
like they're
far away
mining
is
into
the
a peat bog kind of a thing.
So essentially, the camp is about where you're going to go first. Will be the camp. The camp's the first stop. The mine is past the camp. So the camp itself is about a mile and a half past where they've set up their refugee spot, and then about 2 or 3 miles past that is the actual campsite or the mine site.
How far can Venetio go and you can see through his eyes?
Yeah, let me check. Always forget. I know the. Hold on one.
It's like 100
Yeah,
feet or
it's
something.
like 100, 100, 120, something like that. Let me just double check while we're doing that.
Croc Johnson, here to do one thing and one thing only. Be smart.
I'm gonna. But before we take off, I'm gonna go and collect some of the swamp water around here, and try to make a little brew with some of the other random things that we've picked up. I'm curious how this tastes.
It's called swamp ass. It's delicious.
So
Do you want to go ahead and give me a
100 feet is
survival
the.
check
Yeah.
for collecting?
100 feet and Vinocchio has a passive perception of 13.
Awesome. Okay.
because if we're only a mile and a half away and we know that there are hostages held at the camp, I mean, if Croc and I can both swim, one thought might be to get, within a couple hundred feet and maybe the two of us approach underwater and just do a little bit of scouting from the camp. I don't know how close water gets to the camp, but we might be able to at least see.
The camp is built above water, and as a matter of fact,
it's literally. Okay.
So, a matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys, and I'll hand to my players. The bullywug guard, whose name is Leap, is going to give you a rough sketching of the map of the camp.
Have a tavern.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. We are here. Where are you at, Journal? There we go. I'll show it to you guys. There you go.
Okay, cool.
So it's very rough.
It's all
sketched.
on platforms. All on platforms.
Yes, correct. The depth of the water varies between 5 to 10 feet in spots. There is a little bit of swamp gas that kind of creates a little haze, but it's not over pungent or strong. So it's more of a aesthetic appearance more than it would be an effect.
Before we go, I do want to separate my caltrops into smaller bags for what I have planned.
I'd say you probably have enough for 20 bags.
If I just break them up into 20
That's perfect.
smaller bags.
That's 20 bags of caltrops.
Yep.
Yeah.
He just looks like a friar.
Each bag weighs less
There's
than
like a big
5
friar
pounds.
monk, just satchels and things all over him. Caltrops.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of I don't know about Croc swimming in with his stealth, but I think
I mean, if we have pass without trace cast,
Yeah.
I probably have pretty good odds of having at least a decent stealth roll.
What was your nature?
I got a 12 on my survival.
Yes.
I got a 12 on my survival because I have a +0 to survival.
Okay.
But my question is, would my brewer supplies go into this? Because I do have.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because you know what you're looking for roughly.
So because of that, with my living gloves, I get double my proficiency bonus. So that is an 18 total then.
Okay. You collect a bunch of unique things that could go into a brew. There may be some you'll see some swamp slugs. You're
Yes.
like, ooh, I might be able to use that. And there's some different flora and different things like that you should collect.
Perfect.
Never the red, always the blue. I don't know. Anyway,
I also have a feature through chefs called Cook's Treats. So I'm gonna make 3 Cook's Treats, and so it's equal to the number of. Basically, if with an hour's worth of work, or when I finish a long rest, I can cook a number of treats equal to my proficiency bonus, which is 3. These treats last for 8 hours after being made. A creature can use a bonus action to eat one of these to gain temporary hit points equal to my proficiency bonus. So I'm going to make all 3 that I can make for this long rest, and I'm going to give 1 to Torgrim, 1 to Leo, and 1 to Croc. So you guys all basically have, as a bonus action, you can get 3 temporary hit points. With a
I think give it to some since I'm gonna cast Armor of Agathis. Probably give it to somebody else.
Oh, then I'll give it to Bree.
Yeah.
And it's like a what do they call it? It's an amuse bouche. So it's like it's just like something. It's got like swamp lily and like some sort of like thing. And it's very elaborate, but it's like this little like paper wrapped amuse bouche that you each get.
Oh my god.
I don't know, is this like the snail thing you made that one time?
That's it.
Great. Exactly. Exactamo.
Really quickly, let me double check something. The only other thing that I want to do is for the guys camping out here, I want to just repeatedly ritual cast alarm around their camp. So that if someone who isn't like any of us or like the campers comes in, there's like an audible like alarm ringing sound, just so that if they get attacked while we're away, like they'll have a little bit more.
The warning sound is going to be Croc Johnson, P.I.
Yeah.
Just repeats over. It's branding.
It's Croc Johnson, P.I. You're
Yeah.
on
Run for the hills.
Watch out.
So, how are we approaching this scenario or situation?
So I think when we get a couple 100 feet away, I'm paddling. My athletics are crap, so I don't know if I should be paddling a canoe. But if we're making checks that way, but whoever's in the canoe
For
with
this, there probably won't need to be any checks.
Okay.
It's pretty easy.
Okay, then if it's like me and say I guess Bree in the canoe, I will slip over the side of the canoe when we're a couple 100 feet away. So the pass without trace, do I have to stay within 30 feet of you for pass without a trace to be in effect?
Damn.
Okay.
Well, I can try to roll stealth.
I mean, or I can go by
Yeah,
myself.
I think we send Vinocchio and Benjen forward.
Yeah.
I mean, to also be fair, I could turn into a crocodile and accompany you for whatever scouting mission you like.
Oh yeah,
That's true. If
Cast it, turn into it, and then we can just...
There's just a floating canoe. We don't tell the others what we're doing.
Yeah, it's just it'd be hilarious to just pull the canoe. We could just pull the canoe with us empty, to like... Actually, let's do that. Bree and I will get in the water. We're gonna pull the canoe with us, but empty, so we'll be underwater, and we're just gonna like basically, I think, go around the whole outside of the thing, and just basically kind of use it to like draw a lot of attention away from the walkway, So it'll just be an empty canoe that's kind of like magically floating around, and see if it gets shot up, who cares?
Gotcha. So you guys are going to take this single file, and you guys are going to take the lead canoe being empty?
Yes. The two of us kind of underneath the canoe.
I would say the rest of you guys are in the rear canoe.
Yep.
And Croc, are you pulling it, swimming? Are you inside paddling? What do you want to do?
I'm inside paddling for now. But if stuff goes south, I'll probably be hopping into the water and doing my best impression of a very large gator moving very quickly.
And then, Leonardo, you're in that same canoe with him, right?
Yeah, but I'm sending Vinocchio ahead. And Vinocchio, even though he's a sprite, since he has his own flight, he also has a swim speed just in case he gets knocked into the water.
And he can go invisible?
Yes, he's invisible.
Awesome. So here's what I'll have Denochi do. Go ahead and make me a perception check for Denochi.
He rolled a 21.
Okay. So his passive is going to pick up a lot, but the 21 is going to give you some more details, essentially. On your hand-drawn map, everybody, we can use that. Denochi is going to tell you that there are those 2 guard towers. There is 2 of these scaled goblins, or kobolds, inside of there. And then he's going to pick up that there is a couple more on the western side. You can't go too far or you lose the visual, but he's able to go high enough just to kind of see over some of the peaks of the buildings and see that there's a couple of them kind of walking guard. He does tell you that one of them seems to have wings, and that's kind of what he gets with his scouting report, as I would imagine essentially that's when kind of Bree and Ben kind of like jump over the side in that 100 or so feet away and kind of establish himself floating in, and you guys prepare yourself. So you know for sure that there are 2 of these kobolds at the entrance towers or watchtowers, and then there's at least 2 of them roving around on the docks. But he doesn't see any sign of any other activity, and he does see that there are a few buildings that have light in them. He indicates that the tavern has light coming from the windows and doorways, etc., and that the general store has light as well coming from it, and there's small light coming from the guards post as well. And that's your report you'll get.
Okay. Cool. So, I'm sorry. So, from where are we coming from, the south or the north?
You would be at. Oh man, you're testing my cardinal directions again. So
sorry,
you're heading
top or
east,
bottom?
Essentially. You're going. No,
we're heading east.
You're coming.
Heading west.
You're coming from the south, going up. Yes, correct.
Okay. Coming from the south, going up.
And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with the power of the internet, I'm going to set up our potential battle map so you guys get a better visual, and we'll be back shortly. And thanks to the power of the internet, we are back with our map set up. So,
very cool.
The lead canoe, you guys are about, we'll say at this point, right at about 100 feet away from what you can currently see.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Before Bree and I slip into the water, I would like to give Bree a bardic inspiration by just tapping her on her shoulder and saying, "Don't fuck up." And and
she will look like
so inspiring.
You like firebomb one restaurant.
Just don't be better. Excuse me. And then I'll slip into the water and grab the line for the canoe and start pulling the canoe closer. So I think what I want to do, and this is probably a mistake, but I'm going to go for it anyway. What I want to do is pull the canoe kind of into the sort of L28 space, kind of right in the middle of this area right here.
Oh yeah.
L's up there, yeah.
Kind of, it's like, yeah, so
go
like
all
right
the way up to like
yeah.
there-ish.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
like right by the tree.
yeah, right by the tree, and then and I'm assuming I'm kind of in front of the canoe and underwater, and then then as a cantrip, I'm going to cast Create Bonfire in the center of the canoe.
I have a bonfire.
Yeah, so I'm basically just want to set the canoe, bring the canoe into the center. A fire is going to start on the canoe, and then I'm going to leave the canoe, and I'm trying to figure out if there are hostages and where they might be. So I kind of want to pull a lot of attention with the canoe on fire, and then slip underwater underneath some of these buildings with lights, and try and see if I can't see what, listen for. I'm trying to basically identify where hostages are.
I had a bonfire. This is good. This little miniature will represent
Oh, the little sprite.
Danucci. Yep.
Danucci.
Oh yeah.
Where was Danucci going? Is he going up there with him?
I think Venuccio will stay sort of up next to the canoe, but maybe about 20 feet, 30 feet above the canoe.
Oh, okay. So up in the air.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Then one other thing, Eric. I don't have access to move the canoe.
Oh yeah. Let me give you that. That would be important. I will give the
Where are you
permission to all players. So
I think I will still hang out within 30 feet
Us or the canoe?
of. Am I within?
Benjamin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're with Benji.
So I will hang out within 30 feet, but I will be back closer. If you kind of swim up there, what else is that? Where can 30 feet get me? Back here.
We're within 30 right now, it looks like, on as far as, yeah.
Because I want to kind of like wait here for if somebody comes out, over to this area, I want to like chomp them out of the water.
Perfect.
Just gone.
all right, Michael, if you want to check on the map,
alligator things.
on your Roll20 map, I gave you a sprite token, so you should be able to control. That'll represent Danuccio.
Perfect.
And we have a mini for him too. Okay.
He's up in the tree.
Okay.
Do you need a flight stand?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. All right.
I would like to clarify. Is it Danuccio with a D or Venuccio with a V?
Venuccio with a V.
Venuccio.
It's in Victor.
Veni Vidi Vici.
I thought there was a theme going on, so I wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
All right. So Venuccio is flying.
Okay. So there's a bonfire lit. You guys have put yourself into position. Just to make sure I'm got everything square on my end, correct?
Yeah, that was kind of what Benjamin did.
There's the
Okay. And then how far back is you and the other canoe, the three of you in the other canoe, how far back are you going to be from this?
I mean,
probably, I'd say at this point, just off the top of my head, we're like 60, 80 feet back or something like that.
I think 100 feet.
Is 100 is the max range on Venuccio.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but like closer than that, so that Venuccio can get like a little deeper in. Like,
Well, and also, if you guys...
probably just still on the approach as they're doing stuff. I would guess.
Okay. So as this canoe drifts in with this big bonfire in it, that is when it's going to trigger the two kobolds in the tower as they focus fire directly on this canoe. This is also going to trigger a kobold who seems to be better armed. Will come rushing out from the guardhouse.
So this one.
One last thing is, before we, like, as we started to send this in there and stuff, I will cast Armor of Agatha.
Awesome. Okay.
All right.
And the one that came running out of the guardhouse is going to begin kind of barking something in a language that you guys are, I'm pretty sure, very unfamiliar with, unless any of you speak Draconic.
Oh yeah, just pick that up in that
naturally speak Draconic.
that one summer that I spent at the
Scaled Islands.
At university, learning a dead language.
Well, I mean, it's
Nice.
still
It's like, did you learn Latin in school?
it's still
Croc Johnson, linguist specialist.
Classic,
Yeah.
I was gonna say it would still be spoken.
Classic
just in the
Draconic.
Scaled Islands, which is like
True.
the opposite side of the world.
True.
So,
I mean, I can read Draconic, but I can't speak it.
So at this point, there is a focus fire on that canoe. There is a squelch of a strange language. It is being kind of screamed as loud as this little creature can do it, and it echoes. There's also a kind of a low-hanging mist or fog on the waterline that kind of drifts through these little canals and stuff just to kind of set the ambience. They will proceed to reload and just keep focusing their quote-unquote attacks or fire on that in particular.
Okay. I would like to, like I said before, I think I'm going to swim underneath this first
Yep.
building to the north, the sort of E28.
So I will go with
And-
him so he can maintain the passive buzz.
Sure.
Yeah. And then I just want to do either an active or passive perception check. I mean, you tell
I
me
would say
what
at this
checks
point
you need.
you're going to need to do an active because the passive would. There's too much
Yeah.
commotion with everything going on.
Okay. So that's a 21. So I think I actually I might even go so far as to climb a little bit out of the water to sort of see if I can't spot a crack in the floor or something like that.
Absolutely. You will be able to hear the sounds of a woman sobbing. You will be able to hear kind of the whispers of a hushed male speaking in common. And then you're going to hear that strange kind of clicking, clacking of that draconic or that creature's language that's being kind of... my apologies. You'll hear one male voice. Not disregard that one male voice. And you'll hear a couple of those creatures kind of squawking and chirping inside there as the male voice says, you have all of that I have. I don't know what you want from me. I can't understand you. Sounds elderly, late 50s, 60s.
Okay, let's just be clear. If you're in your mid-50s, you're not elderly.
I'm sorry.
After I said that, I was like, man,
It's my birthday. I'm feeling very sensitive. Yeah.
My apologies.
Benjen will drop down and just sort of point to the south and trust that he's aiming the right direction and use a message to just communicate that to the people to the south. I think, probably aiming for Croc, honestly, if it's 1-to-1,
Okay.
just basically say there's one hostage in the general store, and then so long as they're continuing to shoot at the canoe and not do anything else, he'll swim he'll just keep moving to the tavern and do kind of the same thing at the tavern.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Doing another
Yeah, just staying
perception
within
check.
30 feet.
Yes, please do another perception check.
This
and
one is-
also... I'm going to say that on the south side
Mhm.
of our map, essentially, or that end of the table, there's 2 kobolds down there. One of which, after all this starts, like action starts happening, one of which is going to run up that gangplank and be roughly about here. Ping it. Just kind of put him there, and then the other one took flight and is going to be perched on the roof of the building.
Got it.
This building right here in this ping.
This one?
Behind
guardhouse or
that one right
camphouse?
there. That one right
House.
where you're at. Correct.
Okay.
And we'll kind of
I
land
balance.
there.
So I'm gonna so Torgren, I can get you in there very quickly if you want to.
Yeah, yes.
Right, at any point in time, you just let me know, and I can put you. I can move you 90 feet into the middle of it if we need to.
Croc is gonna relay the information that there's a couple more of these things and at least one hostage in the general store before reaching into one of his pockets and picking up a fistful of sand. And I'm gonna as we're how far away did we say we were?
100-ish or 80-ish feet.
We're probably somewhere around 65, 70 feet from the docks because we were about.
Yeah. I would like to cast Sleep, hitting 2 of the guys at the docks, the 2 guys who are near each other, one in the tower and one on the ground.
Okay.
That sounds like a roll initiative moment there, Pete.
Well, if I roll well, they'll just both fall unconscious for a minute.
Let's see how this goes as you throw the pocket sand.
Yeah, he blows it, and it's just it blows the sand. But it's a 20-foot area, or anything within 20 feet of the point that I choose. So I'll choose halfway up the tower and get both of them. And it is 19 total hit points fall asleep, starting with the lowest hit point person in the area.
So the one in the tower is going to just collapse, sleeping.
Does he fall into the water? I just have to know.
All right. I'm going to play a little game we like to play here. I like to play evens and odds, to where I roll a die, and if you can guess either evens or odds, that's how the story will play. So, what do you want, evens or odds?
I'll take odds.
Okay, so he will fall into the water this way. He will take some falling damage, and we will go ahead and roll an initiative. Before we do, though, I will confirm with you, Andy, what your perception was.
It was a 13.
Okay. This particular building, you will hear a couple humans, a female sobbing, and a male trying to comfort, and you will hear multiple of these creatures as they are kind of almost like velociraptors, kind of cackling back and forth, essentially.
It's one of the things I can transform into.
The kobold that you put to sleep is going to take 10 points of damage, and he's awake now.
Drowning in the water.
But drowning.
Yeah.
He could probably swim.
Nods off, falling into the water.
Bounces off a pier and lands in the water.
Just what happened?
Okay, so let's see.
He was already narcoleptic.
Yeah, he just...
None of the kobolds,
didn't know it yet.
They're oh, God, again.
Keenan the narcoleptic kobold.
There's so much excitement in it.
Like the screaming
Foley
goats.
passes out.
Only I would have stayed there
that's my
and
next
dumped
character.
him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just sit who's the in Peter Pan, where he just is just sitting out.
Yeah,
He's got his mouth open.
Yeah. Let's see. What is initiative?
So, initiative.
Let me get all these tokens out in here, because I got to do a little work.
You're good.
Yep.
And then, I was going to say, as that was happening, Torgrim will look at Leonardo and say, "Yes, please get me to the dock," as he pulls out his battle axe.
Yeah. I'll have to, it'll be vortex warp, and I'll push you in there. But we'll have to wait till that initiative. Hopefully, I go ahead.
I can't tell which one of these in this turn order. I just see 3 Dadvantage guys in a row. I think that's Croc.
I'll fix it.
It's okay.
Dadvantage.
Dadvantage.
By the power of the dad.
That's right. And the sun.
It's like the power of Grayskull.
Yes.
Yeah, Pete. Get in line, man.
Your prayer is just dad jokes.
Just the worst puns you can possibly.
That's how you move up in a society.
That would be pretty
create
funny
more
as like
original
a.
puns.
It'd be really funny as like a trickster
It's
god.
not gray skull, it's graying skull. Yeah, it's graying skull. Right?
Yeah.
Gray.
The power of
Graying
the
skull.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be a really funny trickster god where it's just like it's just all dad jokes. As a trickster god, that'd be hilarious.
Oh my god.
I like that.
Well, we've done a couple
yeah.
hundred
Yeah.
of them.
Gertrude, my
So,
little
like,
lady
yeah,
character.
probably can get
She
it.
could have the power of the graying skull.
It's true.
What do you call an alligator that wears Crocs?
I don't know. What do you call an alligator that wears Crocs?
A traitor.
Love it.
See,
Nice.
all of my dad jokes are very inappropriate. So
It's okay. You haven't been a dad that long.
Yeah.
You'll grow your repertoire.
I know. I'm working on it.
You can't help it.
Find your way into the PG related.
Huh?
You have to find your way to
Yeah.
PG
Yeah.
for dad
Is that the level up? The initiate level is just all inappropriate dad jokes.
That's right. Pre-parenthood, it's all dad jokes for your friends as opposed to dad jokes for your family.
Eric, do you want us to start rattling off numbers for turn order?
I would give me a second. There's a lot going on.
I have more dad jokes. Don't worry. I have more alligator-related dad
I was
jokes.
gonna say, shall we continue with the
I'll have Brian edit some of this out.
Yeah.
nonsense? We just keep telling dad jokes.
You know, I've got one. So, how do you get a D&D player to go out with you?
How?
You ask them for a D8.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Okay. What do you call a fake noodle?
What?
An impasta.
Leonardo da Vinci approves of this joke.
Well, did you hear that Snap, Crackle, and Pop were killed?
No.
No, I didn't.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a serial killer.
Oh jeez.
Okay.
Do you know what Croc Johnson's job used to be while he worked in the courthouses?
No.
He was a litigator.
All right.
How
Oh,
fast?
good.
How fast is milk?
How fast?
It's pasteurized before you know it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, that's enough of that.
How we pass the time, baby.
The longer it takes, the more cringy we get.
All right, I'm
It's
ready.
eating grin for the
I'm
moment.
ready for those initiatives.
Benjamin has a 14.
14.
Leonardo has a 17.
Okay.
Croc has an even 10.
Oh, solid. Come on. Bree.
21.
Wow.
The highest I'll roll the whole fight.
And Torgrim.
17.
Oh, that's good.
Probably.
You guys basically you and
I'll roll.
Leo go at the same time.
You can basically choose who goes where
Yeah.
between the two of you.
I think I'll go. I think in this case, I'm going to go just a second.
Sounds great.
Just a second faster.
you turn on music?
I'm gonna put more fighting music
Battle
on.
music.
Friday, the
Battle
war
music.
croaks like.
Swamp
ribbit.
ambience. Okay, so the initiative goes: Bree, Leonardo, Torgrim, Kobolds, Winged Kobolds, Benjen, Croc Johnson, PI, and then Dragon Shield. Okay. So, what would you like to do, Bree, as your first in the initiative?
Well, this crocodile is really slow, unfortunately. So, where exactly are we again?
Over here.
Yeah, you would have drifted underneath the tavern.
So,
If you can, I mean, if you don't want to change, you could. This is kind of the the eastern edge of the map looks to be the only place that you can get, or you can get up here.
There's also a guy in the
There's
water.
a guy in the
Yeah.
water.
yeah, I'm
too,
going towards that one. Don't worry. It's just, do I dash and then I can't actually attack him? But then
You have the attack of opportunity,
Right.
right?
I want to go underneath him. So I've still got pass without trace and everything. I'm like right under the bottom, just sliding right up
Sure.
underneath him.
He's literally like, he can't swim. He's splashing and kicking frantically.
So bad for that guy.
Yeah.
Then, unfortunately, that's all I'll be able to do this turn.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
Leonardo.
So Torgrim, where would you like to go? Where do you want to be by the
guards?
You can pretty much be at the guard. I can put you in this guard tower, or I can put you in next to the guard on
Let's
the
go.
ground.
Let's go to
Next
the
to that
guard
table.
on the ground.
All right, I will put you right there.
Alright.
You can go right there.
So you.
So I cast Leonardo. He sort of lifts up his this very sort of fancy ruby gem that he has on around his neck, and he sort of kisses it and blows. And then when he blows, sort of the sparkly energy comes out, and immediately Torgrim just gets twisted around and then sort of twists around and appears on the.
Awesome.
Whoa.
Positioning wise, it's like 24, 23 T.
Yeah.
I want to say.
And then, question in terms of navigating, since I'm still stuck in the canoe, how far can I move the canoe forward so I can get closer to the?
I'd say you can move at your speed. You can
Okay.
paddle it.
Can I dash with it?
Sure.
Oh, I guess I did. I guess I
Your
just
action.
used an
Yes,
action.
as well.
Yeah. So I'll just move me. I'll be. I guess I'm within 60 feet of, or 35 is my movement, so I'm now within like 55,
Okay.
60 feet of the dock.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, Torgrim, you're up.
Torgrim is gonna move up to the kobold that is on the dock, and just came out of the guardhouse, and is going to take a couple swings at him with his great axe.
Yeah.
+1 great axe. So
Yeah.
let's see how this does. So first attack will be a 23, 14 plus 9 to hit.
That is going to hit.
All right, the second attack, I'm going to go ahead and say why not and do, well, let's see if he's still alive after this. I don't know how strong they are. So d12 plus 6, so that'll be 8 plus 6, 14 points of damage.
Oh, he's pretty hardy. He's still up.
Okay, I'm going to go and use my extra attack and do Great Weapon Master to -5 to my attack and add 10 to the damage. That'll be 14 plus 4, so 18 to hit.
It does.
Okay, so that'll be 18, 24 points of damage.
Okay. So your first blow, this little kobold throws its shield up, but kind of like over anticipates your swing. It's going to glance off the shield. It carves into him. He kind of recoils back. leaving himself open for the second hit, and it's going to hit him kind of square, like shoulder chest area. The armor absorbs a lot of it, but you're starting to see blood kind of trickle down, and he looks very angry. Is he still up?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's gonna unfortunately end my turn for now.
I mean, unfortunately for whom?
Unfortunately for me.
Alright, that is going to bring us to our kobolds. One who is in the water, he is going to attempt a disadvantage swim because he can't swim, and he's going to struggle. He's like going underneath, gulping water and air, and he's just turning, trying to tread, and that's it. His entire turn is just staying alive. He's going up and down. He's like bobbing.
So close.
That's what he's going
Something
to do.
brushes against his leg.
You feel the current
He's like, what's in this
underneath
water
him?
with me? This is not good.
The guard tower kobold is going to point. Let's see what I'm going to do. I don't think he's actually going to be able to see Croc or Leo because of the mist and everything, and he's too focused in. I think he's going to attempt a crazy shot between the guard towers to try to hit the dwarf, and you're going to have 3/4 cover, which I believe gives you a +5.
So that'll make my AC 21.
Yep. And I didn't want to do that. Did I move it? I moved
Yeah,
it.
you moved
Did.
Sorry. Put it back. Put it back, Brian.
I'm working on it.
I was trying to pull up his stats real quick.
No,
You just have to
it
slide.
moved it.
It's like
Um,
buildings are too
slid.
It has a. Well, that's fine.
close enough.
Yeah, close enough.
It's gonna try to throw a spear.
I'm trying to throw a spear.
A spear through the guard. Wow.
And
That's
it
smart.
gets stuck literally in the other guard tower. He completely misses. That was his go. Let's see what else we got here. So there is going to be some commotion on the other side of the town. So this person.
Are we talking wing boy in the back?
Yeah, 15. 40 feet. So coming out of this particular building is another kobold.
Ping towards the dock area where we can see.
Yep, got it.
Okay, so the minor house.
Here you go.
Lead minor house.
Yeah.
And where is he coming?
16K.
16K. So he goes all the way up to about there. Yeah. Ugh.
It's like Battleship.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate you calling it out.
You sank my cobalt. You sank my cobalt.
Another,
Yeah.
I tried.
another kobold will come running out. There you go.
Which we're at.
He is over here on this dock by the cluster trees, upper corner.
Upper corner, cluster
Yeah.
trees. Call it
That
out.
is
G8.
34
34E.
E or F.
Oh,
Dude is on the dock.
Uh-huh.
And that is what those kobolds will do on their turn. As it brings us to our winged kobold up top here. He is going to. He's going to fly to the top of this tower. He perches on top of that guard tower. So it's just straight across. And then he'll look directly down.
Why do you hate me?
Why do you
And
hate us so?
he is going to actually fire at
Hey,
Tolgrim.
all right.
That's a nat 20.
Oh, that's gonna help.
And that is actually going to be a small little crossbow that he has. Oh, he does.
So, I am now 60 feet out. I'm gonna just whisper a few words, and Silvery Barbs that nat 20.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Okay.
Who's getting the advantage?
I'll give it to Torgan since he's taken.
So the crossbow bolt that you anticipated coming and you were kind of like bracing for it is going to go right between your legs, just doomp, right in the dock between your legs.
Oh,
As it was not that good.
I had almost. Oh,
Did your life flash before your eyes?
yeah.
And that's
He
gonna
almost got my sausage and beans.
bring us to Ben.
Okay. So the red lined stuff? How far up is that?
It's about 10 feet off the water line.
10 feet off the water line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to swim to sort of the K24 area, and then I'd like to cast Jump to basically come springing out of the water and land at like K21. So come basically land up on this area up
Middle
here.
of that walkway there.
Yeah. And then, so that's my action and my movement, and then as a bonus action, I am going to, let me just confirm that this is a bonus action. Okay, as a bonus action on your turn, you create, and then, okay. And I'm going to summon it on the other walkway, like basically at like I-15-ish, and do an attack against this kobold at K16.
And that's
What are you summoning?
I'm summoning a tentacle, so a big, I'm sure you guys have seen this before, a big spectral like octopus. It's almost like a little portal to the astral sea opens up, and this tentacle comes poking out of it, and it's my patron. And this sort of,
Why have you awakened me?
yeah, it's sort of this, and it's just basically, I'm here to feed him, so it is going to make it'll make an attack against this other kobold, which is, I'm trying to see, it's +7, so that's a crap roll. That's a 12. Does a 12 hit?
That will hit.
Oh, awesome! So that's going to do. That's going to do 7 points of damage on that guy, and there's a big tentacle floating in front of him.
So the way I envision it is this tentacle comes out of kind of that ether, that ichor.
Yeah, basically like, on the ground there's like this sort of like portal to the astral sea kind of opens up, and this tentacle comes groping out of it and thrashing around.
It's gonna like grab around his waist and then like lifts him up and slams him against the dock, and it's literally like trying to pull him as he's like trying to claw away. He's still alive, but he's trying to fight away, and eventually the tentacle will kind of recoil.
Yeah.
As the little kobold looks up frightened at it. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
All right, Croc Johnson. You're up.
Croc Johnson, DI. Michael, I'm gonna take us closer 30 feet with my movement. And then I think I will, so we're like 25 feet away, so we're probably like 10 feet off the map at this point. I think I'm then gonna hop in the water and dash and swim like another, like essentially to 28 V, it looks
Awesome.
like, yeah. To like 28 V, but I'm gonna stay like fully submerged under the water for the moment. And before I hop in, I will eat the hors d'oeuvre for the 3 temp HP.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
For the treat.
Okay.
but I think it's the boat. It's definitely a lot of splashing once I get in the water. Like, deep enough they can't quite see me, but large enough that the guy in the water knows there's something big in the water with it.
Nice.
He thinks the attack's going to come from that way, but really
Yeah.
the attack is
So, yeah.
All right, is that all you got there, Croc?
That's all I got for this turn.
All right, so returning the favor to Torgrim, this dragon-shielded kobold is going to turn and attempt to repay the favor. One hopes. All right, what can you do this on? All right, so he has a spear. He will use it one-handed. He has a nat 20 on his first attack.
Why does he hate you today?
It's the dice, man.
If I can, I would like to use my reaction to Silvery Barbs.
Sure. All right. Feel like you're swimming by and you just kind of like stick your arm up like a shooter gun. Silver barbs.
Yeah.
PI. All right. Unfortunately, he got a 19 on the second.
Hey, it's not a crit.
So it's got a 22 total.
That'll hit. Yeah.
Okay, and then it's only going to do 2 points of piercing damage. But then he's gonna multi-attack because he has that. A nat 20. You can look, I swear. I swear, it's literally right there. That's 2 in a
The
row.
gods of dice have
Wow.
decided you're not worthy today.
That's 3 nat 20s by the villains in a row.
Yeah, it's just because it's back.
This
All
does
against the
8.
same person.
This does 8 points of
Oh, it's the
damage
same
with
person.
difference.
Damage.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's better than 3
Yeah.
crits.
Oh, yeah.
Much better. Much better.
For sure.
Let's see.
So, Brinka, you can take the advantage from Silvery Barbs from me.
Ooh.
Next roll.
All right, so this Dragon Shield Kobold over here is going to run. He's on the little by the mess hall. I'm pretty sure that's like F, like 12, 13-ish, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm. He's running all the way up there.
That is going to be their turn, and then we're going to go to Bree. Bree, you're up.
All right. Well, I'm gonna use that nice advantage I just got, and we are gonna chomp straight away.
I just hear Jaws music.
Mhm.
Right. Dun-na. All right. So that will be an 18 to hit.
Oh, it definitely hits.
I haven't played with a D10 in a while.
Are you gonna just do the full-on like croc roll thing where you grab it and then you just spin?
Oh yeah. No, he has to. He takes 4 piercing damage, and then he has to give me a strength saving throw, or he is considered grappled.
What's the DC on that?
12.
Yeah, he fails that. He's grappled. As he literally underneath the water, just hands is all you see, and now it's nothing.
And then I'm going to like drag him just all the way down to the bottom of the water.
Bubbles just coming to the surface.
Hold him down for a turn or two, and he might die.
Yeah.
Yep. That's end of my turn.
Okay, Leonardo.
I can stay down here for like 15 minutes.
We're about, what did we say? We said we were about 25 feet from the dock now? Or were you? No, not
Yeah.
quite.
You're
right?
about 25 feet from the dock. I swam closer.
Can I make a suggestion? Because it doesn't like the
Sure.
this building isn't actually connected to any of the other buildings, so you may want to go to the dock on the right. You know,
Fair
just so
enough.
that you can.
Yeah, I was planning on doing that
Okay.
anyway. We're gonna bring it over here, and then I'm gonna. So we have 35 feet of movement, so I think I can get there, and then since this is low, right, I can hop
Yeah.
up on.
Yeah,
the dock,
absolutely.
correct. Okay. Is this guy up here? Is he undercover?
He's
in any way?
actually
Can I-
on. No, he is inside, right?
Yeah, he's on the guard tower.
He has half cover from like the wall. There's like a little wall that he has half cover behind, so you can see like, I don't know, mid chest up.
I'm gonna give it a shot at him, because Vinocio is also gonna attack him. I'm gonna Eldritch Blast
Awesome.
him.
Eldritch Blast.
How tall are these towers?
So minus
The
2.
towers themselves are 10 feet.
Okay.
So 2 beams. Well, the first one's a terrible roll, a 12. However, the second one was a 19, so that's a 20. Even with the minus 2, that's still a 27. So minus 2, 25.
Yeah, that one will hit.
So you said what was the first one again?
It's 12, right?
A 12, yeah.
You don't have repelling blast, do you?
Push another one in the water, please.
Oh, don't worry. That's part of my plan.
The first one does only 3 points of damage, that first beam. But then I'm going to use my bonus action and have Vinocio appear out of nowhere. And since he's sort of, I don't know if he would still have the cover because he could be at the same sort of height as the.
So the sides are wide open. So from where he is, he probably has a clean shot. So the tower just has like a front and back wall, and the sides are wide open.
Perfect. He rolls a 21.
Oh, definitely.
And 2 things. It is, hold a second. It's a short bow, so it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Hold on 1 second. It does 5 points of damage. Or no, I take it back. I guess it just does 1 point of piercing damage. However, he now, the person hit needs to beat a DC, my DC spell save, a DC 16 poison check.
Oh,
Nice.
we'll definitely fail that.
Let me just double check the damage because I'm a little. Second. Well, let's just say it's the 1 point. I'll look it up as we go, so I won't hold everybody up. But 1 point of damage, and he's poisoned, so disadvantage on attack and save.
And then what was you had 1 attack that hit. What was the damage on that? I missed that.
It was 3, so 4 points of damage
Okay.
total, but more importantly, poison.
Okay. And if that's your turn, I'll move on to Torgrim.
Oh, okay. Torgrim is going.
And remember, you have advantage, Torgrim.
Okay, Torgrim is going to attack this individual again using Great Weapon Master for -5 plus 10 damage. So that might not be too good. That's a 14 to hit.
With advantage?
Yeah, I rolled an 8 and a 10,
Oh.
and then plus
man.
4 because I took -5 to it. So
That's gonna miss. So his shield will be quick enough to take that blow.
All right. Okay. I am going to. Okay, I'm gonna attack him again. This time, just a regular attack. And of course, that is a 26 to hit.
That one will connect.
Alright, and I'm going to use one of my superiority die to make it a menacing attack. So when I attack, or when I hit with a weapon attack, I can expend 1 superiority die and add that to the damage. They have to make a wisdom DC 16 saving throw or be frightened.
No, they are frightened.
Alright, so he's frightened. And let's see. Damage will be. Sorry, check because I rolled a 1, but I think I have also some feat. I thought my fighting style of great weapon fighting, I can re-roll that. So that turns into a 1 again. All right.
Okay.
So that'll be 12 points of damage.
Okay. So you are going to land the blow. He kind of falls to one knee as he's beginning to show signs of not being able to hold up.
And he is now frightened as well.
And he is definitely frightened. And that'll bring us to our kobold, who is now... Let me double check. Because he was drug under. I'm going to say because he was panicking, obviously he couldn't hold his breath. And I'm pretty sure it's Constitution. So he, like Sonic the Hedgehog in the water worlds, will drown. Yeah.
Yes!
So he just... And that's it. And just kind of goes limp and lifeless underwater and floats to the bottom.
Very nice. Very nice.
Because he could not.
I think it is a minimum of 1 turn, technically.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah, I
well,
think
there you
so.
go.
He
Correct.
spends his whole turn.
So he's going to try to get free then.
Yeah.
Die.
So he's going to try to get free.
No, he rolled a 1, so... The
very
fate,
dark and
the
murky.
dice have decided the fate of this kobold to drown.
Drown.
So the next turn he will drown. Where are the
If he
rest of
doesn't
them?
get eaten in
So-
the meantime.
This,
In the meantime,
this kobold on the tower is going to focus its attention now towards...
So one question on that kobold on the tower. So did he fail his
He did.
save by more than 5? Then he also
Yes, he did.
by more
Yes,
than
he did.
5. And he also fell unconscious.
Oh.
So as he's like reaching for his weapon, he's got that spear up there, and he's going to throw it. He just... And I
does
will
he fall into the
I was
water?
going to say, I'm going to allow you to play a game we like to play, the Evens and Odds game. And what do you select?
Well, we're gonna stick with odds.
Oh, he falls into the water.
The odds are ever in our favor.
And because of the falling damage, he is going to fall very awkwardly on the edge of the dock and then
He'll break his neck.
break his neck, falling into the water. Because he had exactly what I rolled. It's Kersplash. Okay.
More bodies in the water.
It's more
Don't
meal.
recognize the bodies in the water.
Okay. Let's see. Where are my other little minions? We have this guy over here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
And
He
we're not
dashes.
seeing any movement from the people in the buildings, right? We know that there are
That is correct. You have seen kobolds come out of the buildings, but you haven't seen any people coming out of those buildings other than the kobold.
Okay, and we have
So
and
this-
no kobolds have come out of the 2 buildings where we saw
The general
hostages.
store and the...
The general
tavern.
store had 1 kobold come out.
Oh, yeah,
of
the
it.
one
Okay.
guy.
Okay.
Wow.
The other one, the tavern, has not had anybody come out of it. This
Okay.
building, which I think is the lead miner's house, this one had a kobold come out of it.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so let's see. 5, 10. So this particular kobold, the dock,
Which one?
right over here,
Okay.
is going to move its 20 feet and then realize there's somebody up there, and he is going to attempt to use a sling and sling a bullet at Benjen.
I was going to say, and then Benjamin, with your tentacle that you did, does that make difficult
Oh, yeah.
terrain or anything like that? As that's
That's a great question.
you could cast that like behind.
That's
him.
correct.
Yeah, so the tentacle's there. It doesn't say. I mean, it's a spectral tentacle, so it's not.
Oh, okay.
So it's possible to move through it. It's like a ghostly tentacle, basically.
It's
Okay.
like 10 feet.
So they can move through it, but if they can only move 20 feet, they're still definitely within the range of it. It's basically
that roughly where we have it.
yeah, it's basically
Okay.
got 10 feet of reach. So
Awesome.
You know, it's like 5. It's a 5-foot token with 10 feet of reach. So if it's in the sort of
okay.
like I-16 kind of space, it would still be able to grab him.
Nice.
Come on. Okay, it's not meant to be. So he's going to move there and he's going to attempt to use a sling, and he has a whopping 10, which I'm sure does not hit.
That does not hit.
Yep. So he just looks at his hand and his sling.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
kind of he moved, so he kind of messed up my plan for last
Get the one in the back corner, or are they not open?
The back corner.
The one that's between the general store and the warehouse, like 35.
This guy here.
C.
Nope.
This
other
guy
side.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, he ran there. He dashed
Okay.
from the top down. That he took his entire turn dashing.
So where did he dash to?
I'm sorry. He's literally like 2 squares to your right. On there.
Okay.
Got
so
it?
like
He's kind of
33
Yep.
M.
Yep. Somewhere around
Not
there.
on the very edge of the dock.
No, none of
Oh,
it. He's
really?
learned the lessons of his fellow brethren and sistren kobolds. Let's go to our winged kobold who's up top here, who is not gonna. I'm not gonna be able to see Croc. Is gonna be able to see Leonardo.
You can still see me too.
I know that, but you were kind of engaged, and he's like, "Yeah, my boy."
I don't know.
down-
He's tried to hit you
My
several
boy-
times, and it just doesn't seem.
My
to
boy
work
down
out.
there's
Oh, no,
got this.
he's-
I think he's going to take a shot at Leonardo. Leonardo, you're going to have some half cover, mostly because of this large kind of like tentacle that's kind of raised.
Line.
Yes, vine, not tentacle, big vine and stuff. So you can
The
add
swamp tentacle,
+2, and he is going to have a. This is embarrassing. It's 6. He rolled a 1. He was trying to throw a rock at you. And as he does, the kind of knitted together canvas just gives way, and he's gonna like lose his footing because he had landed on it, and he will fall down. And we'll say he'll take a d6 worth of damage, and he takes 6 points of damage as he falls into that tower. Yeah, and that will end his turn.
That missed, by the way. In case you were concerned.
Ben, it'll be your turn.
Okay, so as a bonus action, my tentacle is going to attack the guy who just passed it and threw a rock at me.
Yep.
And that
Yep.
is... Sorry, just... Okay, +7. So that is a 10.
That does not hit.
That does not hit. So then
Nope.
he ducks underneath the tentacle that swings at him. I am going to hit him. Then I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to use my action to cast Eldritch Blast. And that is a 22 to hit.
That certainly hits.
So that is going to be a D10 +4. So he is going to take 14 points of damage and get blown back 10 feet.
Oh, his corpse will dance across the dock and plunge into the water, kind of ragdolling across. I'll put him like right here.
I'm waiting for the kobolds to start coming out with like floaties
Yeah.
on their arms.
We prepared for this.
And then the guy to the north, who on the walkway, is it like F12 or F13?
Yep.
I'm going to use my second Eldritch Blast and hit him. And that is a 24 to hit. And that
it definitely
is,
does.
11 points of damage. And he also gets knocked back like 10. He gets pushed back 10 feet in a straight
10
line
feet.
from
10
me.
feet.
And
We're
just for
going
flavor,
back.
like, you know, the way Benjamin, his background's as a pirate, so when he casts Eldritch Blast, there's actually like a little flintlock pistol, kind of like sort of a space age flintlock pistol, like appears in his hand, and he just shoots it twice and then it just evaporates, you know, so he doesn't
Love
really,
it.
you know, he's not a big firearms guy necessarily, but when he's Eldritch
What was the
Blasting-
damage? I missed that on.
That was
on
an
your
11.
Eldritch
That was 11 points of
Okay.
damage.
All right, cool. Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome visual. Anything else, Ben?
Use my bonus action to do that and attack, so I can't move my tentacle. No, I think I'm gonna stay exactly where I am. I think I'll just look around and try to make sure that I'm keeping I'm like really keeping an eye on the tavern space to the north and making sure that that door doesn't open, but I'm not trying to hide or anything else like that.
Right.
Very interested in the tavern. I want to see what kind of food they typically prepare. I want to see that menu. But, I got to take care of business first.
All right, Croc, you're up.
Yeah, Croc is gonna come up and over 5 feet, and then, just at the surface of the water, I'm gonna cast Lightning Lure
Oh, nice.
at the guy in the tower.
Nice.
It's a DC 15 strength save.
Okay. Yeet! So literally he stands up, dusts himself off, and then as soon as he gets his composure, just gets lassoed by this lightning lure and is going to be able to be pulled off into the water.
He also takes 10 lightning damage.
I'm going to give him some falling damage too. Great. And he takes 10 lightning.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to hit the water and just... and he will sink as he's done.
Okay. I will creep back under. I only used 5 feet of movement, so
Yeah.
we are heading towards my next friend. I will head to 31.
Yep, gotcha.
Oh.
All right.
Can we just talk about how...
kind of back 5 feet under the water?
Eric, I just want to say I really do appreciate that you had 2 characters that had swim speeds and the ability to breathe underwater, and you gave us this terrain which lets us do nothing but just creep around underneath and yeet people into
Right.
the water
Absolutely.
to eat them.
Mind you, I don't know about you guys, but we had no idea we were going to be in a swamp.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
no clue. It's a gift.
I just wanted to play a giant lizard.
All right. So that's going to bring us to our Kobold Dragon Shield. And the one that is squaring off with Torgrim is going to keep trying.
Which he is afraid, so he's disadvantaged.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, no, he doesn't hit. He'll try to multi-attack. Oh, this one, okay. 17.
That hits.
That's with disadvantage. And a whopping 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And that will be his turn. And the other Dragon Shield Kobold, in which the Eldritch Blast nearly pushed off the edge, is going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 rush as a dash right there with intentions to try to get his attacker. That will end his turn. That's going to bring us to Bree.
Decisions. Oh, can't. I think I will just stay down here. Potentially use actually all of my movement. I'm gonna do one of the death rolls that the crocodile does.
Sure.
And
Just, there's a, yeah.
Just
yep.
start jamming
Remember,
kobold bodies into tree underneath tree trunks so they can
I was
soften
going to
up
say they
underwater.
hide their food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gross.
All right.
Yep, well, I guess I can.
Terrible.
Hints. Well, I can attack him. That's also a thing that I can do. Well, no, because he's. Can I bite harder? How does that work?
On this particular kobold?
Yeah, he's grappled in my teeth, but then I can still attack
He's
him.
drowned.
He's drowned.
drowned.
He's dead.
Oh, he's fully drowned now?
Yeah,
okay.
because he had one action of air.
I thought he
one round
had
of
to.
air.
He would die on this turn, his turn. So if that's not the case, then I will 5, 10, 15.
Oh boy.
20. I will be slightly. My head is going to come out of the water, and I'm actually
Grab him by
going
the ankle
to
and just
cast-
drag him off the side. Oh my god.
I don't have enough movement to probably leap over and around. But
Sure you do. This is our game. We can make it happen. Let's
well, actually, what I want to do is I took the telekinetic feat.
Oh,
So I want to shove him towards me and then launch at him.
Sure.
Yep.
Oh my god.
What does he?
It is a DC 16 strength saving throw.
No, he does not.
Perfect.
No, he fails
So
by
I'm
several.
gonna put him right here, and then I'm gonna give him a nice little jump.
Yeah.
How these poor guys.
Torgrim.
That's all I can say.
You see the shield lower. There's a look of desperation in his eyes as he's literally pushed towards the edge. Like, please help me. I'll never hit you again. What do you have?
It is a 16.
Oh, that hits.
That is a D10. So 6 plus 2, so 8 points of piercing damage, and then he will need to roll a DC 12 strength saving throw or be grappled.
It's going to be close. His strength is no. He is grappled. He is still alive, but not for much longer.
5, 10, 15.
And literally, it's like in those movies when the two people are fighting and the bad guy's like, help! There's that moment as he's now grappled, being the kobold, by this alligator.
Mind you, you saw him being pushed away from you. And then
Right.
Literally stumbles and then gets yanked.
But he's still also right there next to you, grappled.
Leonardo, it'll be your turn.
They're not making it out.
I think what's going to happen here is Leonardo starts to sort of move his hands and sort of arcane gestures, and again, a lot of his magic sort of is all from the Feywild, so he'll sort of release a little bit of sparkly powder and cast Phantasmal Force, and that this guy straight ahead of him on the dock is going to imagine that all these vines are just going to start busting through the decking, and just start to grab him and start to pull him under the decking. That's what he's going to think is happening, and he needs to make a DC 16 intelligence saving throw.
No, I love kobolds. He fails.
So he is both grappled and will take. I think that the vines are also crushing him, so he will take a D6 of it.
Oh, nice.
As Crofton becomes
He's immobilized, and then Vinocia is going to shoot him for good measure.
Awesome.
Just imagining he thinks he's dying like this, proceeds to get darted in the neck and falls unconscious.
Yeah, unfortunately, he does not, because Vinocia rolled a 2. Vinocia was a little surprised by the vines. I guess Vinocia doesn't see them, but he's like, why is that guy thrashing around? And misses.
What was the damage that you dealt? It was a D6 worth of damage?
Oh, sorry. One point of damage.
Okay.
Not rolling well on the damage.
It's very thematic for 1 point of damage, but it's definitely...
Yeah. Well, more importantly, he can't move.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's being, he's completely entranced in the illusion.
Absolutely. Is that it?
And then I'm gonna move. Forward since I feel like he's safely. I'm gonna move 1, 2, 3. Looks like I'm gonna move to here. So I move to just straight up 6 spots.
Right, straight up 6 spots.
Q or P.
Yep.
Since I feel like he's taken care of, I'm gonna move forward.
All right. Torgrim, you are up.
Hoping that Croc will just sort of chomp on him next. All right, that's the end of my turn.
All right, so I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna look at this alligator. Not entirely certain if it's my friend or not.
Can alligators wink?
Sure, why not?
I want to wink at you.
We know that.
I just imagine it's the horrific lizard thing of like one eye blinking,
Yeah.
the other eye blinking, kind of looking off in different directions.
I hope this lizard's like winking at
Ooh,
me.
I'll be like that one. My eyes will still be like bright turquoise, like Bernica's
Okay.
were. So
All right. And I'm just gonna look and I'm gonna say, he's my kill, and try and swing and chop his head off.
Okay.
That is a 24 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, let's see if I can do more damage on this one. Alright, that's 16 points of damage.
Okay. How do you end this
So
poor
as
soul?
as Bree has this freaking kobold like grappled in her maw, I'm just gonna take my great axe and just go straight for the neck, chopping its head off.
Yep. I will.
Told you, he was mine.
The head will stay. The body will be your trophy as you just.
And then I'm gonna go and use my movement to get to the edge, and I'm going to make a absolutely hilarious jump to the tree to try to climb the tree and get to the guest house.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
That's
The dwarf in what type of
acrobatics
armor?
or in athletics.
Athletics. I only have chainmail.
Okay,
It's-
all right,
yeah,
all
it's
right.
not heavy armor.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, well, that's
10
why
feet.
I'm going
He's
to
going
the
up the
tree.
tree.
I'm going to climb
Oh,
the tree.
sure. That makes it better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dwarves and trees.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All right. So
Incredibly.
athletics. That's. I rolled a 5, but I have a +8, so that's 13 on my athletics to climb the tree.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll give you that.
You know my chitinous, viney, sinew hand glove
So
that I have.
nasty.
I never did describe that actually. So,
Oh my god.
so Torgrim has living gloves. That
I just
are
thought they were
brewer supplies.
gloves.
No. It's a symbiotic relationship between these gloves. I cannot take them off.
So it's literally the hand of a kindergartner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
gnarly.
And yeah. So that helps me stick to the tree a little bit more.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah.
So yeah, living gloves.
Yeah.
Brewer supply.
I love it.
So, yeah, one of the spells I took is like Fey Bee,
So
and I took it because it can like poop honey out and make it sticky.
nice.
On that note, is there anything else?
I'm like climbing up the tree to the next turn be able to jump to
for
the.
it, okay.
Yeah.
This is like going to be a very deep cut reference. Has anybody here read Dan Simmons' Empyrean? I think it's Empyrean is the name of the novel. It's this novel from the
Unfortunately.
80s, but it's like one of the things.
A deep cut for you,
Yeah,
Andy.
super
there
deep
you go.
cut. But one of the like the main character on the cover of the book is this like really like it's like this insectoid armor that like is like this sort of like. And every time you describe those hands, I just think of these like insectoid hands on this.
I mean,
I'm just like, yeah.
They're made of thin chitin and sinew, and they pulse with their own life form.
Great.
Wow.
So,
I'm not drinking anything you make
Yeah.
with that.
yeah.
I personally would abhor them.
Made with my
Bernito
own
probably
hands.
thinks they're the funnest thing ever.
So at this point, we're gonna move to Ben.
Okay. So Ben, so I have this guy right in front of me. As a
Yep.
bonus action, I'm going to move my tentacles like right to the corner of the building, and so that right up to the corner of the building, and then they're going to make an attack against our friend there. That's a 17, which I believe hits.
Oh, definitely.
That's going to do another 11 points of damage
Oh, good.
to him. Is he still standing?
Yep. Oh yeah, it does the same thing. It's literally like Hulk in the Avengers.
Yeah,
movie,
so it's
just
like smash it.
wham, wham, wham.
Okay, and then if he's still alive, I'm gonna shoot.
He is.
Shoot 2 Eldritch Blasts at him. So one
Nice.
is a 23, and the other one is a 14.
The 14 will miss. The 23 definitely hits.
Okay, so then I'm gonna do I think another 8 points of damage to him with the.
Okay.
Yeah, another 8 points of damage.
Yeah, he's starting to show some signs of combat for sure.
Okay.
He's still hanging in there.
Great. So we're still not too close. So I've got 30 feet of. I've got 40 feet of movement So I am going to do the warlock thing and move, let's see, 10, 20,
Run
30,
away.
40. I'm just going to move to this little bridge between the two buildings here.
Yep.
Just along the edge.
And then, does that kobold get pushed back against the house?
Oh yeah, and he would get
well?
pushed. He would get blasted. He would get hammered
Oh.
back against the house as well.
Go ahead and roll me a d4. I'll give him a d4 bludgeoning damage for slamming into that. That's cool.
That's another 2 points of damage.
Okay.
And now we can see how this is going to go, because he's going to chase me around in circles, and I'm always going to be.
Okay.
So eventually he gets knocked
Until
into the water.
eventually I can line him up to blast him into the water where the alligators will get him.
Or Torgrim. He's climbing up the tree.
He's gonna move up here, and then I would like to climb up this tree out of the water onto
Yeah.
the decking at
Absolutely.
H 30.
Yep.
Just full on swamp monster style. Covering stuff. I would then like to dash and head through this door and see what's in this building.
Okay. Let me try to reveal what you see in the door. So it should look like a store.
It does look like a store.
How about
Does
that?
not.
Inside, you can see what looks like the store's merchant, and you also are going to see another creature that seems to be kind of holding him, another kobold. And I'm
Oh, wait
pretty
till we
sure
put the people on.
it's
Do
just
we have these people?
I do.
I got a kobold.
This kobold looks like he's magic-y.
Ooh.
Okay, I will step up 5
Magic
feet,
kobold.
and there's this great thing that so I want to run this by you, because
Sure.
I would like to do something that I'm not quite sure works, but as a lizard folk, I have a thing called Hungry Jaws, which as a bonus action, you can make a special bite attack to bite people. And you can do it a number of times per long rest equal to your proficiency bonus. I'm wondering if I can use that bite action to grapple this kobold.
Absolutely.
I would then, in that case, like to attempt to grapple this kobold with that bite action.
So
That bite attack.
I'm so inspired by his crocodilian
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Does a dirty 20 hit?
But of course it does.
Okay, are we then doing opposed strength athletic stuff, or
We-
do I have it grabbed?
Because we're kind of stretching a little bit, let's go ahead and do an opposed strength.
Okay. Athletics or just strength?
Athletics.
Got it. That is 9 plus 7, a 16.
He is going to not have a 16. You will have him grappled.
Now that I have him grappled, I spent
Voluntarily.
5, 10, 15. I want to spend the rest of my movement to run back out the door and dive off.
I love it. I love
Just this poor merchant.
Yeah.
sees
Very thematically appropriate,
Just
bravo.
this-
Wow.
swamp mesh covered gator
Get him.
fight the kobold, and then just
Yank him out
haul him.
the door. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I just want to take us both off the side into the water.
it. Absolutely. Go ahead and put yourself where you're going to dive into the water.
I think I can pretty much only get right here with him in hand.
Yeah.
Mouth.
And
Mouth.
mouth.
You know? Yeah.
This 6 foot, this
Well,
like
that was
3 foot tall lizard hanging out of a 6 foot tall lizard's mouth as it comes back through the door.
What is this, Ark Survival of the Fittest?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
I can just imagine the merchant just screaming.
Oh, absolutely. Oh!
I'll just wait
No
until the
idea
friendly
what's
alligator
happening.
tries to come talk to him.
Okay. You did notice that the merchant was like bound by rope.
Okay.
The knot did not look extremely impressive, but he was bound enough to keep him kind of held there.
Okay.
Does your tentacles have an AC to be attacked, or is it just like an ethereal?
It's ethereal. I mean, he's welcome to
Yeah.
attack it, but it's not. It doesn't.
He's going to because he's not very bright, and it's going to just pass through it, and he's trying to attack it because it's slammed him around, and he's frustrated. So he thinks he's hit it, but it does little to no damage to him. That's what he will do for his turn. Bree, it'll be your turn.
Don't forget, Bree, you do have bardic inspiration.
Oh, yeah, true. Can you measure to how far away I am from that one guy left and then that guy?
Okay, there.
You're like 60 feet to the one that just went in the water, and you're like 50 feet to the one that's in front of the building.
On the dock there.
What a-
And then
Oh, I
that
gotta be
one,
much
yeah, I was
more
gonna say,
than-
that
yeah.
one you'd have to get out 10 feet from the water up onto the dock, so.
Or I can swim around and be like in this little channel.
Can. Waiting for him to fall in.
I'm actually going to go my 20. Oh god, wherever that'll get me. Somewhere over here or under it. And then use the last of the 30 feet that I should be away. And I want to shove him 5 feet closer to the edge of the dock. So that's a DC 16 strength saving throw to not be pushed closer.
No,
20 feet.
no.
That's
They
it,
can't
right?
do anything mentally. They are not. That is not their strong suit.
So, yep.
He's now on the edge of the dock.
Yes, as he feels as he's being torn between being pinned into the dock and now being pushed. Does that end what you're going to do?
Bonus action, move.
I mean, do you want to take an action to dash? It looks like
Action to
everybody
dash.
is dead on that table. You could take an action to dash, even just to get up on
I mean,
Yeah.
do
just
that,
to get
but
up
get
onto
you,
the
like,
dock.
right next to him almost.
Okay,
Yeah.
right there.
Okay.
He's just gonna see some eyes pop out of the water.
And he looks as if he is struggling to get free of something that you cannot see. As it'll bring us to Leonardo.
I'm going to metagame for a second and just say, as a forever DM, I feel like Eric is trying to make us feel overconfident at the moment about our abilities.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'm
Very
waiting
enjoying
for,
winning
the
a battle
adult
and not
dragon to pull
Okay.
up and absolutely blow this party to pieces.
I'm like,
He did crit
All right,
against me 3
what did you-
times.
Fair enough.
Only you, Brian. Only
That's
you.
true. But then did 8 points of damage. I mean, come on. All right. Let me see. I'm just gonna. I think we're just gonna focus fire on this remaining. Is he like the last remaining kobold?
There's
And
there's two
potentially.
more.
Quite.
Yeah.
So there are multiple
yeah,
in this
okay.
building
Well,
up
I'm
to
just
the
gonna
north,
focus-
the tavern, that haven't come out yet.
Right.
And there is,
Okay. I'm just gonna focus fire on this guy who, Bree just moved around a little bit since he's restrained and easy to hit because I have an advantage on trying to hit him.
Also terrifiedly looking in the creature lurking in the water.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right,
Just
exactly.
the
Getting
worst.
ever closer while the vines constrict on him.
As he saw
So
flashes of
I-
things being dragged in and splashed around in the water. Oh, and right behind him, his.
This just makes me want to build Lake Placid the movie as a D&D module.
So I roll a 26, a 21, and then Vinocchio rolls a 14.
All 3 attacks will hit.
Okay. So the 2 Eldritch Blasts do another 1. 6 points of damage, and then another 1 point of damage, and they need to make a DC 16 saving throw, con saving throw
Do
against.
you not have agonizing blast?
I do not. I've masked many faces.
He does not pass that. He fails.
By how much?
And does he lose by more than 5?
What was the DC?
16.
Oh yeah, he only got a 7.
He's
So he is also unconscious.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
Vinicio.
Well, at least he's no longer staring at terrible things when he dies.
Just literally hyperventilating. He's like hyperventilating to the point he passes out.
His head just laying just ever so slightly
Just
off
in
In the
Yeah.
water, yeah, just right
Yeah.
where.
The real horror movie moment is when the wizard gets out just to see his friend's head like in the mouth of a crocodile.
Oh my god, right?
All right, that'll bring us to Torgrim.
All right, so I'm going to continue climbing the tree to hop onto the dock around
Sure.
the guest house.
Yeah,
Another athletics.
Yeah. with those sticky gloves.
Yeah. Okay, that's much better. That's a 25.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so then I'm going to hop onto the edge of the dock. I'm
Spider-Man
assuming
your way
that's
over.
probably like 10 feet worth of my movement.
Oh yeah.
All right, so then I'm going to move my remaining 15 feet, 10, 15, and then I'm going to go ahead and dash 10, 15, 20, 25 to get right there.
I think I got you. One back, maybe.
One back, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That'll bring us to the sleeping kobold.
I was gonna say, please tell me you're just going through the list of kobolds like dead.
So
dead,
yeah. Okay.
dead.
That brings us right back to Ben.
Okay, so we're gonna do we're gonna rinse and repeat a little bit. So the tentacles are gonna attack this guy.
You're gonna have advantage as far as you go because he is hyper fixated on this tentacle that keeps beating him up.
Okay.
Just
So the tentacle's gonna go first. That's tentacle's gonna miss. That's like an 11, or
Yeah,
not
it'll
even.
miss.
It's like a 9. And then I'm gonna
He's getting wise to its attacks now.
yeah. So if it's with advantage, the first one is a 22 to hit, and the second
definitely.
one is a 21 to hit,
Yep.
and that's going to be it's going to be 18 points of damage, and then he's going to get hammered up against the wall again.
nice. Go ahead and roll me a d4 for more bludgeoning damage
That's
for this
another
poor
3
guy.
points of bludgeoning damage.
Nice. Now he's gonna like look towards you, and he's like, like, what do I do here?
He also sees an angry dwarf running towards you.
Oh, that's true too. So his eyes are fixated on his tentacle, shifts to you, and then there's a war cry of a dwarf, and now he's like, oh no!
I don't know what's going on inside the building, but now they've had this guy is just literally slapped up against the side of this inn twice, hard enough probably to
Yeah.
There's
There's like an indent.
dust. There's
on the-
dust rattling down from the ceiling inside. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, if that's all you have, Ben.
I think I'm gonna if Torgrim's up there, I'm gonna move up kind of the same position as Torgrim, but on the left hand bridge. Why is that guy not moving? There we go. So kind of in the same.
Yep.
Maybe not quite that close, but.
Okay. That'll bring us to our now drowning kobold. Let's see what he can do here. Let me check and see how much air he could have sustained. I'm sure it's not much. Oh, he's got a couple rounds worth of breathability. He is actually going to attempt something. He's technically grappled, but he is going to. I think he's going to try to do a scorching ray at disadvantage because he's grappled.
So,
Go ahead.
if he's in the water
Mhm.
and we're either actively sinking and he's grappled, if him using verbal components, would that knock rounds off of what rounds he has?
Yeah, I could do that. Absolutely.
Just
Yeah.
speak to cast spells.
Yeah. So you will see him exhale like he's screaming. There's a loss of air. He'll be short 1 round, and it's totally going to miss because he rolled like single digits. And then he was going to cast another one because he has multiple rays, and then he realizes, I can't breathe. So that'll end his turn as he's struggling to figure out what I'm going to do with his last round of air on his next turn.
This
He
is why you
survives.
always take Misty Step.
But that'll bring up the Croc to figure out the solution.
Yeah. How deep is it down here?
You're probably at about 10 feet to the bottom.
10 feet to the bottom. Okay,
Yeah.
Croc is gonna swim down with this guy.
Yep.
Shove him under some logs.
Under the roots of that little.
Yeah, there's
stump.
large roots.
That little
Yeah.
tree, just-
Like in the root system,
Yeah.
cram him in there, and then I'm just gonna swim back up.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
You believe
and-
like when you swim by him, he's like, like.
and then he's like, "Wait."
I've got 1 round to breathe.
Yeah, and then I'll use my action to climb back up and just get back up to where I was last time.
I love it.
pretty
I
much.
absolutely love it.
Just after storing him, I'll go to use my action to dash back up and get to I think that's 8:28 or something.
Yeah.
Back
There
up
you
on
go.
that platform, climb up the tree.
Gotcha.
Are you inside or outside the building?
Outside the building.
Outside the building.
Yep.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Just
Just
outside.
looking like an absolute menace of a swamp.
The
monster.
open door, wide open door, guy tied up inside, poor guy.
Yeah.
I think there's-
He'll get saved in a minute.
I wonder if this guy thinks that your lizard folkness is just like an upgraded version of the koboldness.
I wonder if he thinks I'm the Black Death.
That's right. Our God is angry with us. Oh no!
I know that you went in and
Okay.
out the same door when you did your action, Peter, but I really wish you had gone in, grabbed this guy, and gone out the other door just for the the cinematic for this guy to crank his head right to left as you come sweeping by. Hilarious. It's still hilarious.
This beat up kobold dragon shield who's been fighting tentacles or a tentacle as well as spin is going to dash. He's like, I'm done. And he sees Torgrim coming.
Oh, I was hoping he'd come closer.
Please tell me he runs down the stairs to me.
He's good. You know what? You know what? Let's play evens or odds. Who would like to select evens or odds?
I mean,
What?
It's always
It's
on.
always odds.
Okay. And unfortunately, it's evens. So he'll catch a glimpse of this menacing croc monster. So he does a quick, hard left and just goes into the building.
Okay.
And he goes into the building.
Yes.
Oh.
So he'll be in the building.
Is that a 2-story building?
And he's going to close the door and end his turn, leaning against the door. We'll bring it to Bree.
Let's see. I'm going to see the snoring face of the kobold hanging up over the water.
Yeah.
If crocodiles could frown, she's frowning a little, aw, I didn't get a scare eat him. But then she's going to have seen the struggling little kobolds trapped under the roots.
Actively drowning.
She is going to go for him and take a bite out of him.
Oh my god.
That's an 18 to hit.
That does.
And 3 plus 2, so it's only 5 piercing damage.
I mean, that hurts him. He's pretty hardy. But he's also, like, tangled in these roots now.
He also maybe is grappled in my mouth, depending on if he can
Oh,
roll
yes.
a strength saving throw of 12 or better.
He's going to have disadvantage on this, because, yeah, he's in a sticky wicket. I love rolling... Oh, he actually rolled decent. What was the DC?
12.
I'm going to check one thing.
He's a magic wielder. One might not be
No,
strong.
no, he's not. No, he has a -2 to strength, which is what I thought. He is grappled.
There is no escape.
The worst.
Yep.
It's
There
just a
is no
horror
escape.
show.
I like how these kobolds have been described as horror movie monsters, and it turns out the horror movie monsters was the party all
It
along.
always is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, Bray?
So my mage hand that I have that's been pushing things around, essentially.
Your psychic mage hand?
Yes.
Yeah,
Because I don't need verbal or somatic components for it.
correct.
It can't attack, but I would like to cover its mouth.
Oh. Okay, I'm fine with that. So-
I thought for sure you were going to use it to say, like, oh, by the way, I just used it to pull the other guy into the water. Into the water as you pass, just like yank him into the water. Just yeah.
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 If that is all you have, we'll move to
That's all I have,
Leonardo.
yes.
There is a unconscious kobold laying
Lolling.
close to Leonardo.
You see the alligator like come up and just kind of like go back down. And maybe hear screeching on the water.
Just bubbles.
There's just bubbles.
Yeah.
I'm torn between doing something mechanically smart and something just total flavor.
Flavor all
I'm
the
gonna go with
way.
the
What does your
flavor,
heart
yeah.
tell you?
I'm gonna. My heart tells me flavor. So I'm just gonna ignore the guy who's unconscious because maybe we can question him later.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna move forward. 1, 2, 6. I'm gonna move forward. So I'm now basically 1 over to the left and 6 up, and then I'm gonna cast. I have Mask of Many Faces. So Andy, instead of taking out the agonizing blast and optimizing the heck out of my guy, I took the ability to cast Disguise Self as a cantrip. And as he does so, you notice like he goes from being a lion person to now he's another crocodile person. Because he's like, oh, he wants to get into the party, and he, turns into another crocodile person.
Oh
I
yes.
feel like the poor kobold would like raise his little tiny head, squint out his eyes, and be like, "No," and lay back. No, good.
I'm going to pretend to be asleep.
All right, Torgrim.
hang
on.
And then, wait, hold on.
Because you go
Pinocchio,
Yeah.
Pinocchio is going to move all the way up. He's going to go invisible again, and then move all the way up to just the corner of the building here. This building,
The tavern, yeah, right up there.
So what is that? That's the tavern.
Yep.
Can he see? Is there any windows or anything? Can he see into the
There-
building once he gets up?
There are. There should be a
Would
couple
be.
in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's gonna look. He's invisible. He's gonna look inside to see what he can see.
Okay. Your passive is strong enough with the Finocchio to know there's 3 kobolds inside there, and there looks like there's 2 hostages. Best he can see.
Okay.
And then if that's it, we'll go to Torg.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
All right. Well, Torgrim's gonna head into the 5, 10, 15, getting directly at the door, and is going to try to swing open the door.
There's slight resistance, so you may need an athletics check.
That's fine.
No. Try.
That's a 23.
No, you literally feel it's like when a parent is I don't know. My kids have tried to do that. Like they hold the door for fun, and you're just like, but no. That's literally what you do. And you will actually knock him back. Let me reveal what you see. I hope. Okay. So you should see everybody should be able to see the interior. Okay. There is 2 more kobolds in there. And there's 2 innocent hostages. So there's one that's going to be at the back corner about, was it a D?
Lower or higher number?
Lower number.
Lower number. Okay.
In that corner.
Yep.
And then like 1 row beneath that on the side of the building there, just coming straight across 3 squares, is going to be the barkeep. Our kobold is basically then pushed back near the barkeep, and then there is 2 kobolds that are near, literally sitting kind of around that little table. Okay.
I think that's hopefully accurate.
Sure, I hope so.
Can't see the token, so I'm thinking that's hopefully accurate.
We'll be close enough.
Yeah.
All right, so that I'm going to consider that your move, or deduct it from your move, obviously, and then you still get your action, bonus action, etc.
So yeah, I'm gonna 25 feet gets me right inside the door.
Yeah.
So I am face to face with the
one you knocked back,
one that I knocked back,
and
then
there's
the
one
other
off to
2
your
are
left. Yep.
off on the. Are they up against the wall itself? Or
They're kind of like sitting in those
would I
chairs.
be-
There's a tiny little like tavern-like table there, and they were sitting in the chairs.
I mean, seriously, the most lax guards. The walls are rattling. Everything's going on. They're like, yeah, that's not my concern.
And it was literally
It's
like
not part of my
Not
job.
part of my job.
It was literally rattling, and there was a window right there too. Like they could look out and see this
what's going
happening.
on.
Poor Steve.
Like, oh man, you see, look, oh yep, nope, that's
Oh, yeah.
oh no.
So am I
Steve got it.
technically engaged with 2 of them?
You are.
Okay, perfect. I am going to make an attack, and I am going to use a sweeping attack.
Okay.
So, well, actually, it's just when I hit. So I'm gonna take my first attack against, of course, the winged Cobalt Guardian dude.
Oh, that would be the shield. He's
Or
a
the
dragon shield. Yeah.
That actually might miss. That's only a 14,
Is that your final answer?
unfortunately.
It will miss.
Okay. So then I will take my second attack. Okay, that should hopefully hit. It's a 21 to hit.
Yeah, and just barely.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and cash in a superiority die to do a sweeping attack.
Okay.
So does a 21 also hit the other one? I'm
Oh yeah,
assuming?
more.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
more effectively.
we'll focus on the Shield Guardian right now. The Shield Guardian will take 12 points of damage.
He only had 11, so you will take him down.
Perfect. And then the other guy will take, let's see, my superiority die is a D8, so he will take a D8 worth of damage, which is a 7.
That is a very basic kobold in which you will take him down.
Oh.
That's why they're like,
Okay.
nah.
We're good,
It's a little
right?
spicy for me.
It's scary
I
out
don't
there,
wanna.
guys.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna then look at the other kobold honing my great axe and be like, bring it. And that'll end my turn.
Give me an intimidation check, just for fun.
Okay. Intimidation 18.
That's pretty
I
good.
he rolled an 18. I have a +0, so.
Okay. That's going to bring us to that other kobold, and he's going to be like, nah, puts his hands up, man. Like, he's done. That's it. For
Bring
him.
him. What? What do you want me to bring you? I'll bring him food, water.
We're going to go to Ben.
So Benjamin's going to go to this other door and just open it very, very quietly.
Yeah.
You know, and just basically step behind this other this other kobold and just kind of look down at him. You know, this
Fantastic.
this spectral tentacle is kind of like over his shoulder, and just gonna. And I'm just gonna like kind of tap him. I'm just basically gonna tap him on the shoulder and step aside, like when he jumps. And I'm just gonna point out the door and just sort of make the little like, "You're gonna run, right?" Like with my fingers, and just generally just be like, just try to intimidate him to just basically flee and get out of dodge.
Go ahead and make an intimidation with advantage.
Okay, sweet. Oh my gosh, my intimidation. I have +7 on intimidation, and I rolled a 4 and a 5, so it's 12 intimidation.
Well,
not perfect. But
thankfully, he was already on the verge of being completely frightened by everything that took place. You are going to hear what sounds like running water as he is standing on a puddle of some sort. He then will just kind of sway a little bit and just pass out from all of the exertion. So we'll call him unconscious for, we'll say like 2 hours.
Okay.
This poor guy over here, I feel like I'm just going to end the initiative at this point.
Probably safe.
I don't feel like there's any need to continue on with this unless you want to murder hobo the rest of them.
No.
The one drowned, I'm assuming it is.
Very happy to.
He will, yes, the one that was trapped down below would drown because he had one round of air.
The other two are unconscious.
Yeah.
The only thing I would probably
Hopefully
do,
the remaining
I'm
three
going to
know
stay
something.
in my crocodile form.
Sure.
And I'm going to get up, and I would probably, as I'm walking past that one that's unconscious, just take a tail swipe.
Bat it
And then I'm
into
going
the
to use
water.
my mage hand to try to open the warehouse storage door and just walk in as a crocodile. As a stealthy crocodile, because Pass Without Trace is still up.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I will let the I'm sure that the canoe has totally burned to cinders, but I will let that
Oh, absolutely.
I will let
Absolutely.
that bonfire dissipate.
All right, if you are heading
I'm
into the
staying.
warehouse,
I'm staying in my crocodile form.
I see the theme is crocodiles.
Just a little bit.
Sure. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
So, I'm gonna start
I think it's
over.
my fault.
I'm gonna start over at the tavern with those who are in the tavern, which would be.
Do you want me to keep all the dead bodies there, or shall I just remove them?
That's up to you. Whatever makes you feel happier.
I want to leave them.
Okay. We'll start with Benjen and Torgrim. We'll start with you guys. What you see in there, obviously, is one unconscious kobold who is, he's out for a little bit. The two bodies, and then there are two, the barkeep and the waitress or the server, who are bound in rope, essentially. Not very good. Like
Yep.
the knots are kind of crude. Just enough to kind of restrain them.
Benjen pulls out like a big kitchen knife, from he's got like the kitchen sheath, so that's it. All his daggers are kitchen knives.
You're not going to cross-contaminate, are
I
you?
know, but I will it's like his utility, it's like a paring knife or something like that, and he'll start
Right.
cutting these people free,
Sure.
and just and then maybe start dragging the bodies out and throwing them in the water, just to get rid of get rid of stuff, and introduce himself. I am Benjen Anna. Do you have a menu? It's
I'm literally what happens is the poor barkeep is like completely frightened. Like, he doesn't know how to take this, and you're going to hear from behind as the waitress is going to hand you a very crude menu.
Lovely. Thank you. And he's like just start perusing the menu. And I think while he's looking at the menu, he'll start asking questions about what's on the menu, but also like what happened, how long have they been trapped, just sort of like
Right.
generally.
Shellfish.
Yeah,
you
what is fresh? When was the last time?
Yeah.
And now I'm like fading into French. Sorry.
Torgrim's gonna just assist with throwing the kobolds out over the docks into the water, and he's gonna come in and be like, so what brews do you have on tap?
I love that the two of us end up in the tavern and we're fully like, don't care about the Black Death, don't care about any of that stuff. We're just like checking out the restaurant. Like,
so to paraphrase a little bit, here's what you're going to glean. It is going to be, where am I at here? My notes, I'm completely lost. Bronson is going to be the barkeep, male human, roughly in his 50s. And then the waitress is named Sherry Brightlock, and she's roughly in her 30s. She's going to say that they were unable to kind of vacate before these creatures came in. They have no idea what these creatures are, and they're just extremely grateful and thankful that you were there, because they were kind of getting the inclination that they were being bound and potentially taken somewhere else for a sacrifice of meals, something like. They didn't speak common, they couldn't be clear, but they were kind of getting the gist.
Oh, that they were on the food. They were potentially fresh food for something.
They were on the menu.
That reminds me, as I'm like getting ready to throw the last kobold over, do you want any of the meat?
No. Humanoids. They don't taste very good.
Is there any other questions you guys have?
I think it would be along the lines of, I'm assuming that we got all of them, but just generally, like, were these few kobolds the only ones they saw? Did they,
These are the ones that were left over from the initial attack. The rest of them fled with as much possessions and things that they could rifle through.
Okay.
And they headed essentially towards that would be the west of this map, I guess.
Headed towards the mine.
You're correct.
Okay.
And the only other question I would have is, do you know if there's other people here?
They do not. They heard commotion, but they don't have any accounts of things.
Wasn't there there's the one isn't there the one in the room that Pete?
Yeah, there's the one that Croc was at, but I don't know about that, and I don't know about any of the other ones.
Yeah.
So. We're just asking.
I think Leonardo's going to make his way back towards that first building that he came in, because he sort of saw that maybe it looked like an office of some sort.
Yep.
So he's going to maybe start looking for those plans that Quintessa had mentioned.
So when you pop into that office, you can see that the office has been slightly ransacked. There's been overturning books and parchments and all kinds of things to show that this has definitely went through. You do not see any inkling of what you were the descriptor you were giving. You were told that they would be in basically like this giant iron lockbox, and you were kind of given information on where it would be located. And when you follow that information that you were given by Quintessa, you do not see it. It looks like it was drugged or pulled out of there or taken. You will hear something or someone croaking for help where the guard tower or the guard barracks were, guard post.
Okay, make my way over there then.
Sure. And as you get over there, you will see bound as tightly as could be is a bullywog guard. And I have a miniature for him. You can put him in there if you'd like. He's bound next to a couple, looks like secure boxes that they would kind of stash weapon supplies and things like that in. You also notice inside there's a bunk that a couple guards could rest as the others are on patrol. There's also a kind of a light weapons rack that would have a couple spears, maybe a couple shields that you can, put your gear against while you rested. Oh, thank goodness! I thought the dwarf was going to free me, but then he ran. That's what he says.
My name is Leonardo. Is there anyone else here?
I do not know. I was kind of clubbed over the head really quick by those creatures. Do you know what those things are?
They are smaller crocodiles, I believe.
Calling the kobolds crocodiles.
Well, would you mind? And he kind of like gestures at the rope that is bound.
Sure, I free him.
Okay. It won't be very difficult to free him. So, while this is all taking place, let me go to Croc Johnson.
Yeah, Croc is gonna step inside of the general store from the other door this time.
Oh, is what you'll hear.
And just go. Excuse me.
Help! Help! One of the creatures is coming after me.
Hold up my hands and I'm like, prestidigitate myself clean. I'm just like, many apologies. Croc Johnson, PI. I'm Croc Johnson, PI.
I've heard of you. Your famous.
Quintessa has hired me and my companions to see to it that the people here are saved and the important assets are returned to her and all that.
I would offer
what
you
exactly
some...
happened aside from the fact that you got tied up from the little lizard wizard?
I was literally in my shop tending to my wares. As you look around, you can see anything of value was like taken from this place. Like it's been stripped bare. And he's like, these creatures just rove in and took everything they could. And before I knew it, I was clubbed on the head with a club and knocked unconscious, bound. When I came to, the smelly little beasts were above me, talking some strange language. You can see he's probably like, it's a general store, but he has a bunch of like general goods and things, some light potions and tinctures and things like that.
That's good to know. Any idea what building all the documentation would be in, or do you think they could have made off of that too?
Let me roll something real fast. Let's see. Oh, he's pretty observant. I believe I saw two of them kind of struggling with a lockbox from the office before I was knocked unconscious. That's what he would tell you.
Thank you for letting me know. Now, I believe we've liberated the site from everything that's, well, all the ones who are out here, so you might want to head to the tavern and see about the rest of your friends. Do you mind if I grab a thing or two that could be useful in here, or
if you can find anything, you're more than welcome to it. That's what he'll say.
I would like to use investigation.
Sure, absolutely. So you will loosen his bindings, I'm assuming, and then he's going to take off heading towards the tavern to rejoin those folk. Go ahead with your investigation.
That is a 22.
So you are going to find essentially a secret stash that he didn't necessarily divulge. It is a loose floor panel right behind the counter. You raise it up and you can see this kind of a wooden crate full of potions of healing. You take a look at them and they look to be, there is 5 superior healing potions. Wow. That he has stashed away.
Jesus.
Oh, hey.
I will, I'll take one, and then I will, as I come across the rest of the group, I'll hand one out to every other party member.
Okay.
Even the crocodile.
I was gonna say she actually is probably just gonna like bob her head at you, like keep it for a bit.
Okay.
Because I'm just walking around in crocodile form,
But,
going into.
Other than that, I guess I'll search like the rest of the buildings for other possible survivors when I get the chance.
Sure. We'll go to Lyle Crocodile warehouse. The warehouse essentially is just full of barrels of supplies, crates, and things. It looks like they have a bunch of this swamp gas that they have secured and kind of ready to ship out. Everything looks intact here. Nothing looks
Probably a
disturbed.
good thing I
Nothing
didn't
looks
set
like-
fire to that building.
Yeah. That was on the list, believe me. So it doesn't really appear to be anything of value that you would think.
Okay. I'm gonna carry on walking around
Sure.
and up and probably go into this one first.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal to everybody. You guys can go ahead and take all the lids off all the toys on the table. I'll reveal to you. That way you get a glimpse into it. I'll just kind of give quick, brief descriptions. And then you guys can choose what you would like to do. Some of these buildings have 2 floors also.
Yeah. Nesting.
This map is
Russian
amazing.
nesting.
Yeah. The power of paper. This took me a long time to build, sir.
Hey guys, why did the
it's-
skeleton go
it's
to the
amazing,
barbecue?
man. I don't know.
To get another rib.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Yeah. You guys want to hear a joke about pizza?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Never mind, it's too cheesy.
Ouch.
You did
They're
ask for
supposed to get
dad
better
jokes.
as we go.
I mean,
They're supposed to get
it's,
better.
Yeah.
It was
They're
supposed
great.
to get better.
Okay. So let's go back to. Actually, let's just kind of keep this light and loose. Everybody wanted to investigate something. Where do you want to investigate? We'll go ahead with Bree. You made that suggestion. Bree.
I would probably at least one of these little people that are like walking to the tavern or something. Not my companions that know me. Want to like.
Just terrified.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like just give a nice like hiss, you know.
a friendly hiss from a crocodile.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From a crocodile.
I would say the only one who's not necessarily intimidated would be the bullywug guard, as he's probably seen and encountered a lot of this kind of stuff, keeping the campsite safe. So he just kind of shrugs it off. It's a little strange that it's walking on 2 legs, but, you know. Most of the houses that you can see, there doesn't appear to be anything of value. Everything that would have been of value has been looted or taken. And
Is this the mess hall
assuming-
over here, the one that I'm in
it
front
sure is. Yeah.
of? Yeah, that makes sense.
Entering into the mess hall, you can see that most of the things are still in place because there's not a lot of like valuables because it's mostly like ales or foods. It looks as if there was a meal taking place when this attack happened, so there's a lot of things that have been left as is.
I would probably be able to tell like how long ago all this. I mean, so this happened several days ago, right?
Yeah, the food is not quite fresh for sure. You'd be able to figure that out.
I think Benjamin immediately is just absolutely disgusted and starts cleaning. Starts like basically, start
basic.
busting tables, dumping them into the sink.
Yeah.
Just it's absolutely intolerable that a mess hall has been left in this condition. He's muttering about again, sort of unhygienic and just really
Right. So the remaining would be the barracks if you guys check the barracks out, and essentially what they are is like, was it octagon style kind of huts, half stone, half wood. There's a center post in the center, and basically there's like cots like you would find in a ship that are tied. Holds roughly, I don't know, 6, so you got about 18 people that could sleep there, etc.
Okay.
Like I said, everything of value you'll take time to go through. It's literally been stripped and taken, kind of bringing, I'm assuming, everybody back to kind of the tavern where all the survivors would gather.
Yeah.
Is there a bar with like stools?
The tavern. Yeah. There's like 3
I would
stools,
like to
a
attempt
bar.
to crawl onto the stool as the
Sure. How long does this form last, by the way?
4 hours.
Fully all the investigation checks are. Benjamin would be like, I'm sure there was some like there's some like, meat or something like that, he'll just like probably have some meat to feed the alligator.
Sure.
just
throwing chunks
of meat on the, it's like raw chicken. It's like literally like tossing legs of like raw chicken that are slightly off, like down for the alligator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Croc is half looking like, I want that.
So I'd say at this point, you pretty much presume that the thing you've come in here to retrieve or get has been taken off. You're assuming back towards the mines. You have thoroughly combed over and kind of cleaned and relieved the camp of any kobold threat up to this point, and you've successfully rescued and saved the 4 people that were taken hostage.
Right.
So, what's the next step?
Bask in the silence.
I mean, and so no one's been hurt, right? Has anyone been hurt?
No, other than, I mean, they're going to have some bruises and things
Right.
from being maybe clubbed or whacked or try to be knocked unconscious. And that's the thing you'll get from the kind of group that survived is they were not aggressive. They were more concerned on finding and retrieving things of value. And the only time they became aggressive is if someone showed aggression towards them, almost like a self-defense or kind of get out of my way maneuver.
Right.
So you're saying we could have handled this peacefully?
No.
I know how players operate. It's very low chance of that.
Not with Torgrim.
All right.
I mean, they shot at our canoe,
What?
so I mean, we knew that they were hostile.
True.
Well,
It's true.
it was a bright light.
Yeah.
It's true.
What time of day is it? Is it? I mean, I think you said we arrived at the camp at like evening. I don't know that we said that we had spent the night at the camp before we came.
It was kind of that transition when you got to the first like tent camp. It was kind of like evening or afternoon going into evening. By this time, you're probably getting into like mid-evening, crossing into late evening.
Okay. So maybe we can, if it's only a mile, maybe we can just point the survivors off towards the refugee camp and tell them to go go find Sheldon Sniffles, Mr. Sniffles. Go find Mr. Sniffles, and go to the camp until we make certain that we've dealt with the rest of the threat, and then if nobody needs to take a rest, we might want to just go straight into heading to the camp. I mean, the fact, like, just to capitalize on the timing, like, we don't want to wait for somebody to just, I don't want to really spend a whole night's rest to then turn around and have somebody figure out that we're...
Yeah. I could short rest it, but I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I was only stabbed twice or 3 times. I'm fine.
I mean, do you need healing? Because I can. I mean, that's the other thing is I can spend a couple of spell slots and do healing word, and then.
No, it's not worth wasting a couple spell slots.
Well, we're warlocks, so
warlock,
if we assume that we've taken a short rest during all this, I mean, I can.
Oh yeah, if we take a short rest, I can easily heal up. That's not an issue either.
So we'll just go ahead and say we're going to take a short rest, and you guys are going to head out as soon as you're finished your short rest. Yeah. And I think now what I'd like to do is just kind of end things here on this little cliffhanger, and we will pick back up and see what happens next, if everyone's all right.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So since we've reached the end of this chapter of our tale, I want to thank everyone for watching Creating Grin. I want to thank our guests, the Dadvantage. Please click and subscribe down below. You can smash the bell button. Keep yourself up to date on the newest episodes. Please leave us comments, thumbs up those videos, all the things needed. You can check us out on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. We're at _eating_grin_. We're on TikTok at Creating Grin, all one word. And why don't you guys go ahead and plug your socials and your things that you have going on?
Sure. So,
He knows all
so
that
you can
stuff.
find. We're the Dadvantage. We're a podcast. So we're primarily. You can find us on all the different podcast channels. If you just search for the Dadvantage, or the Dadvantage podcast. You can find all of our links to past episodes and all the rest of it at our link tree, which is linktr.ee/thedadvantage. And yeah, I mean, it's basically it's Michael and myself talking kind of tips and tricks on how to play D&D, as well as like character builds and a bunch of other fun stuff. And someday soon we may actually be up on the YouTubes as well, but that's one of the things we're working on.
Awesome. Anything else you want to plug?
If anybody's in the market for a wooden donut that holds dice, you can also follow Dodeca Donuts on all the places. That's one of my little side gigs when I'm not doing this these actual plays and whatnot.
Nice. Links will be in the description below.
Awesome. Well, until next time, keep grinning.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys later.